Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.
Who be the man who never circumcised his gland?
Judge!
Stinker-dinker. Who's the man who talks about all the swinger clubs in town?
Judge!
Right on. He's better than hearing a tape while Neil's away.
What the fuck?
He ain't talking about sports.
Oh shit!
Jorge be the man who desires to conquer your woman.
Sexist pig!
Now, ladies and gentlemen, your high priest of the Church of Bacchus.
It's time for my show and I'm busting a rhyme. Give me your call if you can find a word that rhymes with Rodriguez. Ain't gonna talk sports babble.
No!
Jockstrap sniffing. Gonna spend my time talking all about women. I'm of the opinion, if I may suggest, that women are bonded to living flesh.
Living flesh!
Yes.
Living flesh! Girls are naturally bonded to living flesh!
Yes.
Living flesh! Living flesh!
Girls are naturally bonded to living flesh.
Yes!
I'm gonna skate to the east and haka dance over to the west. And then I'll bury my nose deeply in between their breasts.
Jorge!
Okay, time to start the show. And away we go. What else rhymes with that? I don't know.
A pack of lies.
Back in the day when someone done us wrong, we didn't take their crap. In Pearl Harbor, when the Japs dropped their bombs, we bombed them back. And now the Saudis, they hit us hard, and on our cars our little flags wave, as that Saudi-loving retard points the bombers the wrong way. And I'm embarrassed to be an American, where they follow Bush like sheep. The United States of arrogance, led by Bush and his family's greed, they got this country ambling towards the darkest days in our history. I don't want to be a Pax American in the USA.
Supposed to say, goddamn, the on-air
What's
version.
a few thousand innocent lives? Stop living in the past. If you want that SUV to drive, you're gonna need more gas. It's the greatest country in the world. They train us to believe, and anyone who says that obviously can't afford to leave. And I'm embarrassed to be an American, where we patriotically wave a flag in one hand with our head in the sand and blindly follow the powers that be. Apathetic, watching state run news on a 65-inch screen. Scratch your fart, everything's okay in the USA.
The goddamn USA. Wow, welcome to 7 years. Seems like just 100 years ago.
And congratulations to
Boca
us.
Brit. Thank you. Congratulations to us for continuing for not dying despite
Despite the express lane.
and I guess we could gloat a little bit right now because so many people and so many entities since we started this thing, and it was all quite by accident. I remember Eric, rest in peace, Eric. I would like to pour a 40, maybe several 40s out onto the parking lot for Eric because it was his idea, and it wasn't his idea to create an internet radio station. That was mine after other people started to become interested, and I said, well, if we have other people than just besides me, then we should create a radio station. But it was Eric's suggestion to just do the show on the internet, temporarily, because when I got the Neil thing ended, and it was going to end because everything ends. Nothing lasts forever. Nobody lasts forever. Yeah. And anybody that was listening to the Neil show towards the end there knew that everybody wanted the Neil Rogers show to end, including Neil Rogers. Yeah. He wanted the money. He didn't want to just go away. They wanted him to just go away, and he said, "No, I'll go away if you pay me to go away." Sorry, I had to adjust my mic, and that's what they did. They didn't pay me to go away. I got a little bit of a severance there. And then, remember in Monty Python it wasn't Monty Python. It was, I can get it confused. Terry Gilliam in Time Bandits when they go back in time and visit John Cleese as Robin Hood, and everybody that comes up they get like an urn, and then they get punched in the face by the other guy. Robin Hood goes, "Here you go," and then the other guy, and he says, "Is that absolutely necessary?" He says, "It is, sir." That everybody, you get a gift and then you get punched in the face, and that was my firing from QAM. Yeah. Here's your severance check, and then they took me out back and they beat me.
They pummeled you with garbage cans.
They in true sports fag fashion, they stripped me to my underwear like Joe Pesci in Casino, and beat me with baseball bats because
it was white DVDs. When Suds gets here, it reminds me because I wanted to talk about the story about Cesar Romero and the Oranges.
Okay.
He may know the answer to this mystery. So,
is it a mystery? By the way, I want to make sure that all indicators are firing over here and that we're broadcasting because we are so very infrequently live. Before I go back to the story, the anniversary was July the 6th, right, when we did our first show, and we couldn't get it together. I couldn't get it together. You couldn't get it together. It comes in a time of the month and a time of the year when in the middle of summer, when everybody is out of town, or if you're not out of town, you're just things are different here in the summer. The heat is cooking our brain. Especially this year, record-breaking heat was cooking our brain, and I had friends in from out of town that I was getting ready for. We tore the place up. More on that later. Shout out to Heather and Sonia, Heather in Montana, and Sonia, who just recently left Montana, probably back in Australia right now. G'day, mate. She turned me on to some really good stuff that I'll talk about.
So far, so good. The computer's staying on.
Yeah.
It's crashed twice.
Just listen, just real slow. Go real slow, like click and wait. So. The Neil Rogers show ended in 2009. Neil, if anybody was listening towards the end of that, you could tell, and it wasn't like it was a secret. He wasn't keeping it a secret. He said it practically every day. Buy me out, pay me off, pay me. That was always his dream, is to get paid for not working. He watched it happen with so many other people, and he wanted that to happen. So they unceremoniously fired me. They bought him. They paid him to go away. Bought out his contract, and then about a year and a couple months after that is when he died. He died the following year in December.
Yeah. Sadly, not before he died. He actually inquired about going back on the air, brokered.
Right. Well, there were a lot of rumors flying around.
No, that was from our good friend Duff Lindsay.
Yeah.
So it's just a sad thing. I don't know. He was legendary down here, but people are online and don't know who Neil Rogers was.
Well, I can't imagine. Everybody, listening to us now, knows who Neil is. That's our core, our rotten apple core is the remnants, the fragments of the Neil Rogers show. Not all of them, because for some people, not the fluff. That's jetsam more specifically, because that jetsam is what washes off the deck of a boat. Jetsam is man-made, but not all of them, because and I understand there are people that for whom. No substitute is acceptable. I remember you fans fondly when I had to fill in for Neil, and they They were beside themselves. They threw conniption fits. These are the people that would rather have tapes than anybody else's voice on there, and I appreciate that. You got Neil's picture in the studio.
But they couldn't turn it off.
They can't turn it off, and they still, the numbers were still number one, and there's the ratings book there. So yeah, back to the story. Eric's idea. Just you already got an internet audience, the Neil Rogers Show, and George filling in for Neil had an audience already built in. So Eric said, "Why don't you just do your show on the internet for a while to keep in touch with the audience until something opens up?" And while we hobbled the studio together, I assembled my resume book. I guess I took about a month. I assembled my resume book and ran around and got all kinds of stories. Thank you all the people that I even had my resume book. Remember that I had it printed out into little handouts.
Yes, it was
multi-page
beautifully
handouts.
done.
It was beautifully done. And I had my folder full of sponsors, like 24 of them, including what I call the Dirty Dozen. 12 people that vowed their support, and of course when I went to radio stations like Duff's bosses, that's not a Beasley outfit that he's working.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. The different people. What's the guy that Neil would talk about all the time? I don't even remember.
Which guy
anymore? The people that own the other brokered stations. The not Beasley. Not
Crystal?
Beasley. It'll come. Yeah, who are those people?
Crystal's gone, I think. Oh, he died.
Yeah.
That guy there.
I forget the guy. I forget the guy's name, but it'll come to me. The guy that I met with, he goes, "Oh, you got sponsors, really?" Like he didn't believe me. Like, really? Well, why don't you, give me a copy of that, and because I want to contact these people to make sure if they're sincere about sponsoring you. I'm like, okay, because I'm an idiot, as everyone knows. I'm just incredibly.
Well,
I guess I'll never not be naive. I'll never be so old. Never get to that age where I'm not like a naive little kid anymore. So I'll go, okay, and then I start getting calls from my sponsors saying, hey, I got a call from such and such a radio station. Steve Lappa, that was the asshole. Oh, okay. Yeah, fuck you, Steve Lappa.
Yeah, on this.
Lappa. Fuck you. I hope you die. I hope it's painful and slow. Anyway, got a call from some sales representative, some radio station. Yeah. They wanted me to sponsor a show. My show? No, they didn't mention you at all.
You see? I don't know what it is with the sales holes. They don't want to touch internet. I don't get it.
This was before the internet. This was when I was trying to just get a regular job. I was like, hey, hello, everybody. I'm George Rodriguez.
Here
are my credentials. I was
slapping you
trying to
around
get
town.
a real, I'd like to get a real radio job. And I met with Steve Lapp and his second in command, or whatever, George Johns. Few conversations there with them via the phone, and had a meeting. And give us the let us make a copy of your sponsor list there, so that we can verify if indeed you do have sponsors that are willing to sponsor your show, or if you just came in here with a bunch of papers. Which I'm like, okay, because you can see radio people are notorious for being liars, padding their resume, if you will. Not we want to.
Did you say padding?
I did say padding. I don't want to.
Next to a trans woman said padding.
Wait, let me get the comedy drum out here.
Well, I can't find much. We're doing okay so far. I mean,
we're doing okay. Yeah.
The professor's on his bicycle.
Take it really
still.
easy. We'll get into the election time and Debbie and Trump, and you see the Tim Casanova stuff. Is it Casanova? It's Canova.
It's Judy Canova.
I can't stop saying Casanova up in my head there.
I'm going to vote for him 50 times.
Absolutely, he is the congressman for this district right here, the 33020, best zip code ever until it floods. There's a little asterisk. This is the best goddamn zip code while it's above water, and that might not be for very much longer, but we're going to enjoy it while it lasts. Like life, Boca Brit, we're going to enjoy it while it lasts.
Are you getting the flooding here on A1A? Like the Fort Lauderdale is?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hollywood is actually, and right here where we are, especially where my apartment is, are high spots. We're the highest spot north of Miami until you get up to Okie
The businesses up in Lauderdale by the sea.
By the way, if you happen to glance over here and see the phone ringing, let me know. If you are calling, several people said that they would be calling the show today, and I don't answer. Just keep calling. Matter of fact, even though I have my phone on silent, I'm going to stick it out in front of me over here.
I was looking for the Skype numbers as you say that.
954-99-000-36. That's 954-990-0036. Wish us happy anniversary. So back to 7 years ago. So I'm talking to Eric, and Eric in the meantime had no material. The show wasn't on. this is when the show was completely. I got.
It was
I spent about a
stripped
month
down and raped.
The Neil show lasted exactly 1 week after my firing.
Yeah.
Exactly
What could he do
1 week.
after that?
Well,
And
remember
they
it was
crushed that man.
They fired me on.
I think Beasley killed Neil Rogers.
Well, that Beaner did that Mexican street
Him too,
prostitute.
a
Yeah,
combination.
broke his heart. But possibly, sure. Let's blame lots of people.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
they
love
tortured him.
that killed King
They
Kong.
stripped his
Of
show,
course they tortured
all
him
the
because
comedy,
that was the game that they
drops.
were playing, and of course the double standards. Everybody else could play fart sound effects. The sports guys they could rape women in the studio, but Neil couldn't play a fart sound. Remember the. I actually had, and I'm glad that there were other people in the room when I had to have the conversation with you about the fart sound that wasn't there. Do you remember that conversation?
Was that the trombone?
They heard a fart sound, and you swore, and I go, I know there's no fart sound there, but there's something that sounds like a fart sound.
A tuba.
And maybe it wasn't representative of a fart sound. It was just in the course of a song, there was something. It could have been like a little drum roll, a little something, a little.
Yeah.
And we had to edit it out, so they were being ridiculous. But by the way, that's nothing new. That's nothing new in the landscape, especially in show business. Let's create a hostile work environment so that this person will quit.
That's exactly what they did.
And they wanted to do that. So in the month that followed, a month and change that followed the end of the Neil Rogers show, I tried to get back on regular radio. Eric was like, whoa, there's no show. And he had this infrastructure all built up for delivering the Neil Rogers show. We were one of the first people, and by we, I mean the Neil Rogers show. We're one of the first radio shows that I know of, certainly in the state of Florida, but probably in the country as well. There were just a handful of people streaming their radio show. And I'm not talking about people that were doing internet radio. There have been people doing internet radio since real radio. Real radio was like in the early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
Remember that? So there were people doing internet radio, but as far as people that were on regular radio, and we were as guilty as anyone, we had a little bit of a snobbish contempt for the internet thing. You internet broadcasters, how very quaint. That's not for us.
Up until what?
We're
2000, I
broadcasters.
think it was.
We're snobs.
When
We're
did you start
broadcasters.
actually simulcasting online? It was 2000, 2001?
It was, I don't know. Maybe some of the Neil fans will remember. But immediately it really broadened the audience, especially we started hearing from people overseas. England, Australia, servicemen in the Middle East were starting to hear the show. So it really generated an audience of its own. And even local people started listening because they could pick up the signal.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have your pod up, so
It did not crash
okay.
yet, but
you can try playing an audio. Oh, we'll just wait.
I'm not going to.
Okay, yeah,
we
don't
don't have
touch
to mess with it right
Don't
now.
touch it. No superstitious
I was,
stuff. Let's do
and
it.
ironically, I was
Sprinkle
looking
it.
for fart sounds.
Oh,
And that's when it froze up. I think it's the ghost of Joyce. Even though she's still alive. But
remind me, Joe Costello recorded a congratulatory video that I want to play during the show and show during that, but I need some time to set it up. So definitely, when Suds gets here and we do a big switcheroo, which I hope we can do.
a swish.
We'll do that. So back to ancient history. So Eric said, why don't you just keep doing your show on the internet? And just to keep touch with the audience until you find a radio station or the station's going to change format or something. Both of us, he didn't envision that radio was just going to keep swirling down the toilet bowl the way that it was. Yeah. That George Carlin described it, that's that slow swirl down the drain, down the toilet bowl. I thought, because I'm an optimist and also very naive, that this thing that radio was going through was going to be temporary. And the horse and buggy guy, he thought that same thing about that horseless carriage. It's a fad. It's a fad. Nobody's
It's funny how
really,
we fall into that. And
it's a fad. So it took about a month, I would say, of us playing the springs like accordions before we got the shock absorber microphone mounts and experimenting with microphones and adapter plugged into an adapter. I think we went through 20 different external sound cards before we found one that was quiet. We tried different computers. We tried wires made out of different things. It was voodoo magic. That it was like if you took the Cosby Kids, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, and the old Frankenstein movie, Like if you put them together, like the Junkyard Band, we had a Junkyard Laboratory. You know, like old Doc Frankenstein, he had a jacked up laboratory, but he was rich. He was a rich guy. He had a castle. So that was really expensive gear that Frankenstein had in his laboratory, all right? If Frankenstein had the Cosby Kid Junkyard as material, that's what it looked like. It looked like Dr. Seuss made it. We had even this board looks a little bit funky compared to radio stuff, which the only difference, besides we can do a lot more than we ever could in radio, is the radio stuff is all underneath. Everything's all flush and
I got to tell you,
built in.
After we got all the kinks out of it,
out.
even Ray Davies said we got rid of the kinks.
Yes,
but it sounded professional when we got it done.
Yeah.
A year after that,
yeah,
we had a full lineup and a fairness doctrine style format where we had leftists, we had righties, and we had comedy. It was a full spectrum of what we grew up with. It was
we even
radio.
had pedophiles, although we didn't know about it. We didn't even know about it. How about Byron Eggers doing him with the fucking upskirts and everything?
Him on,
not that I care anymore because
yeah.
you've already heard the announcement. The new fuckless George got completely stripped of all fucks. I have none. I have none to give. They held me down. They stripped me of all the fucks. I was strip searched. They body cavity searched me. They found every last hidden fuck that I had. The world.
We even had pedophiles on our. we equal opportunity.
Who knew? You know, many people are saying that the reason that Trump won't release his tax records is because he donated to NAMBLA.
Okay,
and that's on there. I heard many people
wouldn't
say
surprise
that.
me.
Yeah, I heard many people say that Trump sucks Satan's dick.
I believe that too.
Now, I personally saw Donald J.
Satan
Trump.
turned him down. No.
I personally saw Donald J. Trump, candidate for president, suck Satan's dick. I saw it.
Oh, you did.
He was dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, and before I could grab my camera, he dropped to his knees and went down on Satan himself.
But did Satan resemble Jack Nelson?
Well, that's the thing about Satan. Yeah. He looks like whatever you want him to look at. So.
Oh, okay.
In my vision, he looked like Bob Green.
I'm Satan, and welcome to hell.
So many Satans. Hey, all of you people that promised to help out, thanks for nothing.
Yeah, they're all evangelistic.
I really appreciate all of the offers of help, and I appreciate all the handshaking and all the patting on the back and all of the promises to be there for me and to be there for us. Really appreciate all that help that you promised to give. And
anything you guys need.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. We live in paradise. It's amazing to be alive. You know, Joe Bell, fucked us over.
And what happened to Joe Bell?
I don't know. But
won't see him
on
no
a completely unrelated note, my plumbing works wonderfully. How about yours? Brit? How's your plumbing work? Perfectly. It's wonderful. Man, when I pee in the morning, like that, it's wonderful. Everything is great. Prostate, tiny. It's microscopic.
We ain't got a barrel of money, but we got a good health going.
We ain't got a barrel of... That's it. It's time for a new song parody. Yeah. And it's a weird, wild world. So happy anniversary to us. 7 years later, Eric's idea for just us going online temporarily to keep in touch with the audience until something opened up in radio has grown into this. Because other people, the analogies that I use, SoFloRadio.com, you'll have to do some imaging for that one of these days. Also, keep in the back of your mind, thinking about the spin-off station. I still want to do that eventually maybe when summer's over and I'm feeling a little bit less lethargic. Fuck You Radio. I have that.
Okay.
Spelled out, fuckyouradio.com, and also furadio.com, so we can have that on the public. That can be on the public bumper stickers.
It stands for Felix.
Just a little bit, like a couple of IDs, some show open. I think the name of the show that I'm going to do on Fuck You Radio is going to be called Talking Shit with your host Ivan Bad, and I'm just going to talk shit all the time, which is what it all is anyway. What has happened in between now and then is that other people discovered, quite independently and on their own, that the airwaves are really irrelevant. The airwaves and what is being broadcast on the airwaves is a dinosaur. It's an obsolete vehicle that has limited reach. you have to have now a radio. Remember when you have to have a special device to listen to your product. Now, no, the radio is the special device.
Yeah.
Everyone's got one of these, all right? Not everyone owns a radio. Guess what? I have children. My daughter, my teenage daughter, does not own a radio, but she owns 2 computers and a smartphone. Okay, but she doesn't own a radio. To listen to the radio, she would have to buy a specialty device. Or she does what I do every morning. I dial up NPR on TuneIn. The same way that I listen to SoFlo Radio, I listen to NPR.
National Petroleum Radio.
I know. Don't the Koch brothers own them?
Coke and all the oil.
I know.
Oh, and
So-
you were saying about the talking shit. Nicole already has a segment shooting the shit.
Oh, shooting the shit.
So,
All right,
and
well,
speaking
better-
of Nicole, I got to shout out We
Yes.
Care.
We do.
/ Nicole Sandler, and she needs your help because she's going to be on later this afternoon. I don't know if she's going to be able to join us today.
I don't know, but hopefully Colin will. One of the things, because she moved the show from 2 to 4, which and I love her no matter what she does. She can do no wrong, but that creates scheduling conflicts here on SoFlo because we have this show and another show that are on at the same time.
Yeah.
That basically will bleed over into the 2 o'clock hour.
So we both wish her
Normally,
the best. And
we love you, Nicole. You're doing God's work. I'm trying not to burp during the benediction over here, but we scarfed food this morning.
I've seen her working. She breaks her ass. I mean, she does research and homework.
She has a work ethic that I can only envy. I don't know. I'm really enjoying the beach. It took a lot to get here today.
What a segue.
I know.
You went from a hard-working radio brother.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
beach
admire
would be-
that. I admire that because how do you, when you live here in Florida, how do you go to work when the beach is just right there?
Yeah.
It's just right there. It could be there right now.
Well, here's the thing.
So before we look, because I don't want
yeah.
to pay short shrift to Nicole. Nicole, is going to be on after this show. We'll join her in progress. This is a special anniversary show. Normally, I have her. I have the show switch right over at 2 o'clock every day. Every other Monday, we record the live version of the Groovathon. Tony C and the Groovathon.
We can shut
and
down
he
at
always
2 if
goes.
you want.
He goes over. Well, here's the thing about the liveness of both her show and my show. The live element is not as relevant. The element is not as relevant as it used to be.
Should have put that in a rap song.
Everybody, everybody listens at their convenience. Everybody waits for the YouTube video. There are people that are just watching the YouTube video right now way after the fact. There are people that are downloading it after the fact, and that's how that was one of the first lessons we learned when we started doing the show on the internet, is we would have merely hundreds of live listeners, but then thousands of downloads.
Yeah.
And that was way before the webcam thing came on with and all of the mixed blessings that brought with it. That was another thing that we backed into quite accidentally. Listeners wanted it. Other shows wanted to do it. So, okay, I'll buy a camera. And that was another thing. Experimenting with different cameras. Buy a camera. Immediately, I thought, that the audience was going to shift from listening to watching. And the download, no, it just increased the overall listenership. And now with YouTube blowing up the way that it is, all those videos that we put on YouTube now they're still getting hits, they're still getting views, and now the people that pay to use the facilities over here, the reason that they use the facilities is all because they want to generate a nice looking YouTube video for their radio show. That's where it's at. That's the future of broadcasting. That's the present of broadcasting. Is that everyone has the ability to be worldwide. Everyone with something to say, with an act, a spoken word, a comedy shtick, you play the harmonica with your nose, whatever it is. YouTube and the internet, and YouTube's just one of many. Vimeo or just all of the audio only outlets for your act. The world is yours. The fame is available. These giant broadcast companies, they don't control the content. I know they're trying to. They're trying to control, eliminate web neutrality.
Yeah,
so that they can
just trying to
continue
shut it down. Period is what they're trying.
Sure,
to do.
but here we are, and it's every man for himself. And now, all these years later, everybody, hey, what a visionary. What a visionary. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm a visionary. I totally saw this all coming.
We're a visionary, especially when it came to selling. Although I
well,
will
that's the thing.
say, because we didn't know any
Well,
better, we went into this
We always
blind.
knew, but we were like, we always just figured that the sale. Well, listen, I lost count. I lost count of how many bullshit people. And remember our friend Wendy? Remember, yeah. How many people did we go through that process with? She was just the first of a long line of many people that, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I spent a lot of time with them. We generated a lot of materials for them. And it's like, all right, go, and crickets.
Strictly agency stuff, and we had no way of cracking that.
Remember that guy Mark that was hanging out here for a while?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I
he's dead.
Oh, did he die?
He killed himself.
I didn't know he died.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
He died.
Yeah, he killed himself probably because he had a guilty conscience. You know who he was a fan of, right? Trump.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
like I said.
fuck that guy.
Next day.
Yeah, I don't care. See, because you know what? Because he's just another guy that lied to me. I'm so fucking tired of it. I know it's Florida. It's the land of bullshit. We swim through. Forget the sewage, the actual real sewage, and the green algae. Here in Florida, we swim through a veritable sea of bullshit. It's quite buoyant, you know. If you just let yourself go and allow yourself to float on it, you can actually go quite far.
There's a lot to float on down here.
Drifting
and it ain't
on
just
the
water.
drifting on the tide, drifting on the current of bullshit that occurs down here, and I'm quite frankly fed up with it. So the words that come out of people's mouths don't mean shit to me anymore. But this was guy number 10 or 11 that wasted a lot of my time, cost me a lot of money, just because I made the horrible mistake of believing the shit coming out of his mouth.
When he killed himself, did he do it by driving on the express lane?
No, I don't even know. I didn't even inquire.
I gotta
When
tell you,
I heard. Oh, he took his own life. I went, okay, that's fine, wonderful.
I was coming down here this morning, and you want to laugh. It's just stay outside that lane and watch what people do. To the audience who doesn't know, we have an express lane here, which is a bunch of sticks.
Those are called delineators.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
For $1.50. Yes, you too can go on the express lane, and it expressly takes you way out of your way, because here's the problem with the express lane. There's no exit.
Right.
It was designed by the Eagles. You can come in any time, but you can never leave. It's like
my friend. Right. Yeah, just you better.
You want to go to Sheridan? Sorry.
No.
You can't.
No. You can exit
And I'm looking
downtown
at these...
Miami. That's where this takes you, motherfucker. I hope you wanted to go to downtown Miami.
Is that where it goes? Because I'm looking at these people shitting in their pants. I can't get out of this lane.
No,
you could go to Cuba, but you won't go here.
Stupid.
Oh,
I did that when I was driving, because I know better. When I was driving my and that's funny. You've had friends from out of town. They don't get more out of town than Libby, Montana, first of all. And Perth, Australia. You know, Perth is it's on Western Australia. It's in the Western South.
Yeah.
West. Most people don't know anything about it because Sydney and Melbourne gets all the attention. It's like 2.5 million. It's a city of 2.5 million, but it's very isolated. Like, there isn't a lot developed all around it. So it's a very concentrated population in a very remote area. The second most remote concentration of population, second only to Honolulu, Hawaii. That's the largest isolated population in the world is Honolulu, and then Perth is the second largest isolated population in the world. So they've got a culture all their own over there, and likewise, Libby, Montana, very isolated area, culture all their own. So I got the opportunity to explain certain things, not just Americanisms, but South Florida isms over here, like the express lane. Like we're getting onto the express lane because I want to make some time. I want to get them to see some sights and everything. So we're driving down to South Beach and we get the express lane. It's like and it's like, what is this? What is this? And I go, well, this is South Florida, and South Florida is very class divided. You go, what? No. And of course I'm playing it up for shtick. It's very class divided. What? I go. This lane over here is for the bourgeoisie, and this is for the proletariats. Yes. What? And I go, yes. These schleppers, and I introduced them to a lot of Yiddish. The schleppers, the people that work for a living.
Yeah.
Over here, I said the people that shower in the morning, okay, before work, they drive these lanes. The people that shower in the afternoon after work, they drive those lanes. And they're like, get the fuck. I said, this is South Florida. All right. If you can pay, you get your way. And if you can't, fuck you. This is how it is down here. And I go, watch, as we go through Florida, watch, you'll see a theme, because I don't want to sit around and I don't want to wait around. So you might notice something unusual. Every time I encounter a stranger, I'm going to be putting money in their hands. What? I go, every valet, every cashier, every waiter, every waitress, the barista at Starbucks, I said, if you want to get through this town and get anything done, you need to throw money up ahead of you as you go. You need to throw money up ahead of you, or the people that are up ahead of you will not get the fuck out of your way. They'll treat you like you're a piece of shit. Yes. You need to show up, put on something clean. Don't look homeless, all right? Look like you work for a living, or at least like a tourist. Look like you work for a living, or like you don't have to. How's that? Yeah. That's what I said. Look like you work for a living, or like you don't have to. Like I put on what I call, like, this is my rich man clothes. Right? No way I could be,
but not rich enough for the express lane.
No. I went through that express.
Did you
lane.
really? You fell
I pulled out all the stops when they were down here. I was
But
like,
you can never leave.
I know. I live here.
Where did you wind up?
I live here. I was driving to South Beach. I knew exactly where I was going. I know where to get on and off.
Oh,
I'm not a tourist.
you mean it does end?
It does.
It's not perpetual, where you cannot get out.
It goes all the way to downtown Miami.
Well,
Why do you think they call it an express lane? It wouldn't be express if you could just get on and off all the time. When there's an express elevator, for example,
it's an express lane to the guy's office who designed
like a bus route. This is the express, which means it doesn't make all the stops. It goes directly from here to there. Yeah. Right? That's the express route on a bus. The express elevator doesn't stop at every floor. That's why they call it the express. The express lane is like hyperspace. You go from this portal to that portal. You can't.
Assholes in the portal.
You can't. By the way, you can see by the condition of the delineators that not everybody obeys.
No, they can't.
Yeah, that's exactly the sound those things make. Hypothetically speaking, if you're texting and driving and happen to drift out of your lane,
Hamina.
is the
and if you break down and you're in the express lane, but people behind you are fucked.
Yeah,
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, people behind.
They forgot about emergency lane.
You have to. So here we are 7 years later, although we were trying to, I tried, and you're my witness, I tried to get the anniversary show together when it was due to go. And when you said that, or I forget who it was, it might have been you, it might have been Suds, like, I don't think that's fine, because I got my friends coming in from out of town and I got some deep cleaning to do. Yeah. On a personal note, you haven't been to the original studio location lately. But no, it's much less dirtbaggy than it's used to.
Do you own it yet?
No, I wish.
I know.
I have, although the landlord raised my rent, I insisted on some things because I went through should I get a 2-bedroom apartment like a normal person? Because basically I'm living in what was my man cave. And I thought, no, this place, I've had too many wonderful times and wonderful adventures, and it was the original location of the studio. There's a lot of nostalgia. The artist, remember Bruce Grayson, the guy that talked like this, he's no longer with us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Bruce. And the painting, he painted my hallway, he painted my kitchen. So there's a lot of kitschy value there that I don't want to give up on. So I told my landlord, hey, can you fix the kitchen floor that's kind of falling in? Remember that my refrigerator was on it wasn't on a floor, it was on a rotted hole.
Yeah, when you went to get a bottle of water, went,
are you sure? Are you sure? You're right.
Help me.
So, and the carpet, boy, that carpet had things growing in it.
But it had character. That place has
the bathroom
got
window wouldn't. So I had all the things that were broken fixed. Got my rent raised. I got new carpet.
And the audience never saw it, even on the YouTube, because the camera faced the other way. And you had that indented piece of wood in the wall.
Oh no, they did see that. That's on the video a lot.
Is it not?
Yeah, where the phone is. That's where.
That really was where the phone went. That's why we put the phone there.
We had that discussion. I said, I think that's where the Virgin Mary went. I think that's where the Saint.
No, that was
Saint.
They had them back then.
Yeah.
Phones boxes with the crank.
Okay.
And that's how old that place was.
1940. So.
Well, maybe not a crank.
Well, maybe a crank caller.
We had plenty of those.
Yeah, we don't have too many cranks. Although those two retarded guys, and I don't mean that as an insult.
The Shamba?
They are. Yeah.
Oh, careful, they might.
Daron and.
We could
what's
go
his name?
do this once a year or twice a year, and they'll still crank us.
Sure, absolutely, whatever. That's fine. I don't care.
That's how
I don't care.
Talk about lonely.
Jimmy Crackhorn. I was at the McDonald's with my daughter near the roller rink one day, and I saw one of them.
Really?
And he didn't recognize me.
Yeah, I don't know
He
what
didn't
they look
recognize
like.
me. I was there. Oh, I know. Remember from the pictures. Remember from the MySpace days. They had pages.
Oh, I never saw them.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Oh, did it look like they sound?
Yeah, and they used to come to the remotes and appearances. Remember?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I got to tell you,
they would harass me at the remotes and the appearances. Anyway, he didn't recognize me, and of course, I didn't go Jamba. I didn't do anything like that. So, go ahead.
I remember when we almost killed El Rogers. You and I were going to throw him out off a balcony at the old pizza loft. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like 93. It was... Anyway.
Yes.
I happen to be a proud member of the West Broward Women's Democratic Club. And we used to hold our meetings at, what the hell is it? It's a sports bar. And I guess the management had a problem with the schedule or something, so we had to reschedule our meetings. The Women's Club is now, our meetings are being held at the Pizza Loft.
Okay. This is currently now? Or this was then?
Now.
Oh,
right
okay.
now. So the next meeting is October 5th. Well, I'll be speaking, by the way, about this Civil Rights Coalition I'm setting up. But the table we sit at is the Al Goldstein table and Neil table. I can't get it out of my head when I'm in there. And I got to be serious. And all I could think about, I like to eat cornflakes and fought. It's just like,
Oh, I might be able to play the art of dumping.
oh, yeah, let me
Later.
find it.
There's another one. So many great people. Of course, when I was younger, I was very aware of that the day would come. Because I was one of these people that, like, no one in my life really passed away until a certain point, and then, boy, life started playing catch up. It was one after another. But I would watch it happen to other people in other people's lives. And I knew, everybody that I'm hanging out with that's significantly older than me, I'm going to, unless, I get hit by a speeding cheese wagon, I'm going to have to deal with.
Oh, we should mention Boris.
Their death.
Boris
Boris Yeltsin
died.
No.
Yeah. I don't know of what.
Wow.
I got an email from Duff,
Yeah.
and he passed away.
Well,
He wasn't that old, so I don't know what it was.
No.
He was our engineer at WQAM
Yeah,
for the audience.
Jim.
Nice guy.
Jim Yelton, very, very, very good guy. The engineers were, for the most part, good guys that we worked with.
Yeah.
But people, I remember, Sonny Hirsch, Al Goldstein, Neil, Mike Ranieri.
Yeah. Well,
All
Goldstein,
these people.
at least he's not forgotten. Like,
And by the way, while he's still with us, Rick Shaw, Alan just saw him. Alan said that he was going to call in. We got Rick Shaw's hat here in the studio. Want to send our love out to Rick Shaw. Very honored to have had him, in the studios, both there and here.
Yes.
And at QAM. The first time I met him was when he walked in on Neil's show on QAM. Because you're somebody that me and my brothers listen to, or my brothers and I listened to in Cuba, and practically learned English by listening to this man on the radio.
very quickly, because he sure talked fast.
Sure, but just by osmosis, singing along to the songs, it starts sinking in.
The best ramp
After a
artist
while,
in the country.
We might bemoan like the story that you were telling me before, before the story that you were telling me before before we went on about job opportunities that somebody was talking to you about. As cruel and horrid and I don't know, filled with blood and tragedy as our radio careers have been, we were very fortunate to be alive during radio days. The radio days. We saw the last of the radio days because these people that are going to broadcasting school now, what there will never be, like right now, Stern is doing his thing on the satellite. But when there's no Stern anymore, what other great radio people are still running around at all?
There aren't any. Well, wait a minute, hold on.
Because I don't know what's going on in other markets.
If they're on at all, they're on online.
Yeah.
Or Sirius has
like
a couple.
Adam Carolla, I guess. But Sirius, as we know it, is going away. It's becoming just an internet-only delivery method. We don't need those satellite receivers. You don't need, and again, a specialty device, because here's how technology works. If you have a device that lets you listen to everything, but you have another thing that you have to buy an additional device. But the one device, like this device, lets me listen to A, B, C, or D, right? So why should I buy another device that only listens to C? I can get A, B, C, D with this, but why would I buy another one that just gets C? Everything that's broadcast in the world, audio and video, I can get on my phone.
Well, here's what I do. I'm certain I'm not the only one. Your old phone.
Oh, Suds says the door is locked. Chris! Someone locked the door.
Live radio. Hey! Over here.
Someone locked the door, Chris.
We locked out Suds. There's going to be hell to pay.
I'm sure glad Chris is here, because otherwise
I had to get up.
Here, I got a text from Boomer saying, happy 7th anniversary. Thank you, Boomer.
Thank
you
Boomer.
very much.
Buy a computer so you can hear the show.
Plant yourself right there in front of the fruit. Should we take this opportunity to look?
We got 10
Suds, why did
minutes
you
yet.
take the fruit? Why did you take the fruit away from Suds?
Smoking a wee-wee.
Whoa!
Yeah.
This will be the
Smoking
Suds
a pancake?
pre-cum show.
Didn't mean to that was very overbearing there, Mr. Suds.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
You overbore.
Hello. How's that?
That's
That,
okay. That was my fault
is that
because
clearing,
we didn't do a mic check with
a
you.
lot of people say
when
I
you came
can't
in.
bear
Now that
it
you're here,
either.
you go back. Is that other?
I love this live radio.
It is.
Yeah.
Is my microphone on? Is this other microphone in the way of anything?
Well, my career.
I don't know.
Yeah. You
By
can't,
the way, if the
can't blame the microphone on that.
if the show sounds dry, it's because I'm not dropping here. I'm afraid to.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Well, because Joe Castello
Yeah.
made a video, and I would like to cue it up to show it.
Oh, let's do
Oh,
that.
great.
But
right
I'm
up
gonna
to the
need,
break.
I'm going to need some time over here.
Oh.
Suds is here, so we need to rearrange the furniture now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll break
We do?
now
Everything.
into the video.
No, we'll break now into that. I have to get the
Yeah, but
video ready.
but wait a second.
Yeah.
Take
Now,
some
if we,
time.
We just break now.
I need you to play this shit.
Well, let me do that
right
Air
now.
America bullshit. That all the podcasters online go, is it a
This
hard
is
break?
just like 7 years ago.
Is this a hard break or a soft break?
It's a squishy break. It's
a flaccid break.
squishy break on all flaccid radio. SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com. Your headquarters for
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com. The 95 Express northbound lane is now open. To use this great feat in transportation engineering, you must have a Sun Pass, E-Pass, Gold Pass, Gas Pass, and valid passport. You will be charged less if you drive a hybrid, electric, hydrogen, steam, or turbine-powered car. Horses, goats, and big wheels are free. All other vehicles will be charged a variable rate by the number of additional miles after the first 1.2 miles of pavement is used. And a special discount will be awarded for cutting across 3 lanes without looking. And now these words of wisdom from the top-level Dade County transportation engineer who designed the single-lane flyover. Do you like it?
Happiness is 77 WABC.
A bitch named Joy said no fart noise. Took away our sound effects toys. Gave up having farted since then. She wants to assassinate the only show that gets the bills paid. Gave up having farted since then.
Well, she'll do anything it takes to defend and validate the behavior of corporate reprobate. Gave up, haven't farted since then. She'll go as far as suing herself to make our life a stinking hell. Gave up, haven't farted since then. Don't do this and don't say that unless you're a hardcore sport holdback. Gave up, haven't farted since then. Well, what floats in the toilet bowl is what she knows about radio. She wants to destroy our show. Gave up, haven't farted since then. Gave up, haven't farted since then.
What's up, George Rodriguez? Happy SoFlo Radio 7th anniversary. I am super proud to have been involved at the very beginning, and I love coming by. I want to come by so bad. But right now, I'm in Miami International Airport. As you can see, it is packed. I'm at Cafe Versailles. I'm getting ready to fly to Denver for a Chevrolet race. It is going to be great. And I come back on Sunday. It's a quickie. But I want to wish you and Boca and Louis the artist and everybody who has been a part of SoFlo Radio the whole time a happy anniversary and all that. We got to get together and talk politics one of these days. But today is for celebrating. So enjoy your hard work. It is great. The South Florida radio landscape would not be the same without SoFloRadio.com. Have fun, guys.
Mr. Al Goldstein presents The Art of Taking a Dump.
What I like to do is place a TV tray in front of me when I go. Gives me a way of expediting the food I enjoy. I have my cornflakes today. Corn is good. It goes right through. It also helps to have a few pictures of Gloria Leonard around. But what I truly enjoy is the luxury of bathroom acoustics. I always keep a karaoke machine nearby. This way I can enjoy the acoustics when I sing. Farting and pooping and splatting and splooping, spewing and spraying and straining my heart. Don't care if it's real or a fart. So when you have to make, don't hold it in. When I gotta doots, I'm pissing and fooping, festooning my poopies, yeah. And if I feel good when I'm through, that's a healthy shit. That's a healthy shit.
Say you wanna get married? Well, let me give you some advice.
If you wanna be horny for the rest of your life, always make a Jewish woman your wife. Oh, from my personal point of view, get a shiksa to marry you. If you wanna be horny for the rest of your life, and you wanna slit your wrist with a knife. Oh, from my personal point of view, you should never marry a Jew.
A Jewish woman is like a curse. I can't think of anything worse. All she ever wanna do is shop, check your credit card and never stop. Shows no interest at all in sex, only cares about the size of your paycheck. You are never ever gonna get laid. You'll regret the commitment you made.
If you wanna be horny for the rest of your life, always make a Jewish woman your wife. Oh, from my personal point of view, get a shiksa to marry you. If you wanna be horny for the rest of your life, and you wanna slit your wrist with a knife. Oh, from my personal point of view, you should never marry a Jew.
When your honeymoon is finally through, there are things she's never gonna do. Only cares about her nails and hair, not a bit about what's down there. You are gonna feel like a schmuck, cause you're never gonna get to fuck. Find out how it feels to be eternally practicing practicing celibacy.
If you wanna be horny for the rest of your life, always make a Jewish woman your wife. Oh, from my personal point of view, get a shiksa to marry you. If you wanna be horny for the rest of your life, and you wanna slit your wrist with a knife. Oh, from my personal point of view, you should never marry a Jew.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour, it's a phenomenon!
Rick?
Yes, sir?
I don't believe this. I'm not a sir. I'm a lovely old lady.
Yes, ma'am?
Why do you talk so disgusting about picking your nose?
You have never picked your
I
nose.
don't believe it. No! I have a tissue. I use a tissue. There are tools for such a thing.
Foul-mouthed old troll.
The goal of those two. Casting aspersions on what I like to do. There's a method to picking that only I know how to use. I don't have to use my finger. I don't need my hand at all. And I hide it on the bench when I sit down at the mall. Nobody picks like the boogie lady can. Are you listening? Pay attention. You take a tissue from your purse and place it under your chin. Now with the proper implements, you're ready to begin. I like to use a spatula or maybe a spoon. And if all else fails, well, there's always power tools. You see, anything else makes you look like a pig unless you use etiquette when you're ready to dig. And if you're like me and you have no teeth, a stringy, greasy goober makes a chewy treat. Nobody picks like the booger lady can. Ooh, that's nice.
I'm gonna tell you about my younger days when my health was good, but my mind was crazed by chemical interactions in my brain. Yes, I got high, you know it's true, but what I'm gonna relate to you will keep you just like me from going insane. Cause you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. Yeah, keep off crack, speed, smoke, you'll just get dumber with every toke. Rocks in your head, no wonder it's called stoned. Your heart beats fast, eyes red as hell. The monkey just gets bigger till your money, lungs, and mine will all be blown. But you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. 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 Here's to you. Beer is good for you. Dope carnivals inside your head can turn into freak shows instead. Face every imagined horror known to you. Beautiful and exotic, paranoid and psychotic. There's nothing left but sawdust when it's through. Hey, don't feel bad and don't feel blue about all this jive I'm laying on you. I'm just trying to make a point and make it clear. No, don't get angry, don't lose hope. Just because you can't use dope, you can always make a real good case of beer. Cause you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. 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 Here's to you. Beer is good for you. Dark or light, it's brown as honey. Worth its weight in gold or money. Oh, baby, that beer is good for you. Gives your tongue a tingle and your mind a buzz, and wake up in the morning with a mouthful of fuzz. Oh, baby, that beer is good for you. And you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you.
I looked up Piney.
Beer is good for you. Not as good as sex, but it's better than jail. Hookers cost, but so does bail. Oh, baby, that beer is cheaper, too. So tell the man behind the bar, B-E-E-R. I'm telling you, beer is good for you. And you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. 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 Here's to you. Beer is good for you. I said that beer is good for you.
Jeff wants his 8 tracks back.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the. I'm gonna digitize them. I actually bought the Dealio. I've just been way too busy, but I still have them. Do you have a Betamax? I don't know anybody else to ask.
No, I do not.
Where can I find a Betamax?
Craigslist.
I don't know. eBay or just I need to borrow it.
Yeah.
eBay will have them.
Maybe I'll have it just to borrow it, just to digitize.
I've never had a beta
Jeff's
machine,
tapes.
no.
He's got some tapes. I've got some tapes. I finally bought the funky sound card. I know this looks weird, but
Yeah.
I have to adjust my seat.
Yeah, sure. That's what I call it.
That's
what I call it, too.
No, nothing like that. Welcome back to the show, Suds
Well,
Coleman.
thank you. Thank you, and thank you
Of
for
Rick
the
and
invite.
Suds
It's,
show fame. We do have we have Facebook to thank because Rick's on there. So
Yes, he is.
Remember, for a while there was the lost Rick Riley. Before Facebook, people would call up. Suds would visit my show from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Suds would visit the show, and people would ask about Rick, and we didn't have an answer. And now we do. He's in Portland or something.
In the Portland area.
Okay.
Yeah, in suburban Portland.
Portlandia.
He's somewhere where he's got a horse and some chickens and a goat.
Okay, that's great. Those are all good things.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Goats are
Yeah.
fun. My
Goats
sister
are
raised
fun.
goats for a while.
I want to see those trees, those goats who climb the trees.
Yeah, they
Aren't
climb
those cool?
everything.
Do
Goats
they?
they climb. They like to climb. They have really
man,
good
I
balance.
love those tree pictures with just a tree full of goats.
Tree full of goats.
You
you too could have a tree full of goats.
I live in a condo.
Well, okay, you can't.
You can have a balcony full.
The condo association won't allow you to do that. By the way, Alan threatened that he was going to call in 990-0036. That's 954-990-0036. And I think the phones are working over here. So let me.
Yeah, we're the Facebook crowd. Where are you,
all those
Neelys?
people.
Yeah.
We're here. We got like 80 likes on the promo
Over on
Facebook.
Snapchat.
Right. Where are all those people? I just want to make sure that our phone works. So as far as I can
Want
tell,
to give you a call?
it does. No.
And we
It
also,
would feel so much
also want
more
to
at
thank
home.
Suds for being with us since the start. He's been kind enough to be on our show since.
Hey, listen, I remember listening to that very first show. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Our very first
it was
show,
great.
and up until Eric died and took all that with him, and I don't know if I have a copy of it even.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the cyberverse, there has to be a copy of that.
You would think. Yeah.
Nothing would you by first show. You mean that 3-hour sound check?
Yes.
Where we were
Yes.
just playing with the
Whoa.
equipment and
Yeah.
twisting wires. This thing on, and
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be a show. I think there were 3 people listening. You, Rosie from
Oh,
from
yes.
Phoenix,
Hi,
Rosie,
Rosie.
the BitTorrent Queen, and Eric, and we were just trying to make things work. We had never, and understand something. For all the years that we've been in radio, none of us are what you might want to call engineers per se. We never took a class. Boca had already built 5-6 studios by that time.
Yeah.
The recording studios, which are
Yeah,
a little
just production stuff.
It's like
Different.
it's right. Variations on a theme at the very best.
Yeah.
We understood
These are
that-
still my microphones, by
right.
the way. I'm not going to repossess them or anything.
No, hey. If I get sued, come in and grab them quick. Alan gave me that. That's cousin Brucey's microphone, as a matter of fact.
Is it really?
Oh.
Speaking of Alan, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Michaels.
Where are you?
Okay, Alan.
He never sounded better.
Hello, SoFlo Radio.
SoFlo Radio, we
Happy
hear you.
anniversary.
Thank you,
All
Alan.
right. Well, have a good day now.
I can't hear you on your end. I hope we're on the air. But I'd like to say good afternoon
I
to
don't-
Suds,
I don't know
Boca,
why you-
George, and that Canova poster in the background.
Oh, you can see it? Good.
I don't know
And
why
that
you're
ticket
not.
looks really good.
I don't
Can
know
you-
why
can
you're not
you,
hearing
move
us.
the box a little so it looks like I can grab a piece right through the TV screen.
I have a Tim Canova blow
Anyway, I
up
can't
doll.
hear you guys on the other end. But
I don't know why you're not hearing us,
y'all.
Alan.
Happy anniversary! 7 years seems like yesterday that we were simulcasting on She and TV ads and taking the market by storm.
Right.
No.
Yes, we're doing all those things, Alan. I'm trying to get it so that you
10-4.
can listen, and I don't know why. How about now?
I hear you now.
All right, amazing. There you go.
Hello, Talk Radio. Hello, South Florida. That
Hello.
that Joe video had tears coming down my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Well,
liked it. It was really cool.
all right,
Just-
yeah,
just
Because
giving them
you used too much
momentum.
bleach in the bathroom today. That's why.
What is it, Alan?
No, I said just think of the momentum and 7 years later where we are now from where we started. Like you said,
We're
the
on
rubber
top of the
bands
world
holding
now.
the microphones together.
Yep.
The tables, the
Right, it's still
remotes
the
that
original
we
table,
did.
kitchen table with a hole cut in it. I borrowed my friend Chris's hole saw and drilled a hole over here so that we're the spider. This has been nicknamed the spider, the microphone array. It's the Daddy Longlegs microphone array.
We've come so far, and look at that picture right now. The studio looks beautiful. The camera shot is nice. We're making internet history as we continue into the 7th year, year number 8. Actually, we're into right now because the anniversary is, I guess, a little late. But really a pleasure and a great 7 years, and let's look forward to 7 more. But anyway, just want to say hello to everybody and happy anniversary. And it's a little hard to hear you, but I wanted to call and wish you very much happy anniversary.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah, so anyway, well, let's rock and roll. And, you guys remember we were simulcasting on She and SoFlo, like I think for a year and a half, 2 years. We had a huge television campaign. And really put the mark on Internet radio, brought it alive here in South Florida. I believe we were the first Internet station in Internet history to broadcast a TV commercial, of its kind.
Yes, yes, thank
you.
you.
So really
we're the first of a lot
innovative.
of things. First, we're the first Internet radio station to actually act like a local radio station with all like live local shows leading into each other, as opposed to there were internet radio stations that had just collections of radio shows from this one and that one, and they kind of loaded them into a buffer and played them, so it was radio-ish. But we actually acted like a radio station with imaging and rejoins that we still have.
Yeah, I knew we made it when we did a remote once where some kid came running up and kicked you in the nuts. I like.
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's right.
I knew we made it
Yes,
to the
that-
level of regular radio and
That was Mike
television at that
Hawk.
point.
That was Mike Hawk.
That's
the kid came up and kicked Mike Hawk in the nuts. Get it right.
He defeated Mike Hawk.
Yeah.
But that brought us to a level of success that real television and radio have enjoyed for
Yeah,
years.
They don't
So-
have the balls to get kicked in the balls on regular radio
no.
and television.
But I knew we made it at that point. Anyway, happy anniversary. I got a bad phone connection here of the prison. I'm over here for trademark infringement.
Oh,
But I hope to get out soon so we can celebrate the anniversary.
Say hi to Jerome.
Okay, Alan.
I sure will.
Bye.
All right, listen, guys, seriously, love you guys. Happy anniversary, SoFlo Radio and television.
Yes, thank you. SoFlo Radio and television and SoFlo Vision. And
So we know
and
you
by the
made
way,
it when you got kicked in the balls.
Our YouTube channel is right there. It's YouTube. .com / SoFlo Vision. All these videos that we
Now,
generate,
see, I
we've been
didn't know about
generating,
that.
all the videos are there. This show, the other shows that are on here, they all generate videos, and they're all there. Now, I do it for the people, and I saw a handful of downloads because the videos are there for free. So why do you bother? Why do you bother putting the downloads up for sale? Just in case somebody might want to donate 99 cents to me, of which I get 61 cents. Thank you very much. It's just a little penny in the coffers. And by the way, you know what's funny is that I turned Alan down, and he's still over here talking.
Is he really?
I can hear him in my headset because this board is rigged up that way. Alan, I thought he said goodbye.
Yeah.
And I just turned him down, and then there he is. He's still talking, ladies and gentlemen.
He hates short goodbyes.
Why? I thought you were going to hang up, Alan.
I was, but I heard you mention donations, and I just want to say this, that I am surprised. I am totally surprised at the support of the community to donations to SoFlo Radio over the years.
I'm surprised as well. Stunning. It's been stunning.
Encourage that more, actually.
Yes.
But that's really totally surprising, the support of the community.
It's
but
stunning.
anyway, thanks very much, guys. I'm back to the pokey. So
Okay.
See you in about 5 minutes.
Talk to you later,
But keep
Alan.
them on.
I just... You can't write this. Just
No.
start writing this shit down. Just start writing it down. You can make all the money. Listen, I'll make a deal. I'll make a deal with you, Boca. Because you're going to be dead any minute now from the smoking.
Yes.
Write the book,
But I won't-
get the tree, get the thing.
I'll go that way, but not on the express lane.
Put me in the will. You're not gonna. If you don't take the expressway, hey, listen, you'll never die.
It's certain death, man. Go ahead.
I'll help you, with the book. You get the money. When you get the money, peel me off a little bit here and there, but put me in the will. I just want what's left over after you die. How's that? Because I won't have to wait that long.
My nylons.
What's your?
That's about it. You could use them for when you rob a bank.
Yeah,
and you can do it like Vic Tayback did.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you remember.
No. Which movie was that?
It was a commercial.
No,
to advertise legs.
No, I don't.
When legs pantyhose.
I gotta say, are you back to running? Speaking of legs, because Boca had always had amazing legs. It's a little bit of cheating because guys can get some muscles.
I was blessed.
My skating has led me to have incredible
That'll
legs.
give you good legs.
My legs are amazing. My legs and buttocks are amazing. Should the rest of me look so good, I would be a lucky man. From the waist up, I look like Suds.
Yeah.
But from
that was the rejected Suicide Squad member, the guy who only made it to leg day once.
Did you see it, by the way?
No, not yet.
I saw it yesterday. I had to. Lewis is supposed to call in. I called in on Wednesday on the powwow.
Yeah.
On Wednesday. The powwow show every Wednesday, 9 to 10, whenever, here on SoFloRadio.com. And I called in so that he could congratulate me. And he made me go see the Suicide Squad so I could give a review. What's her name that plays Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
She's an Australian actress.
Yeah, I know.
I can't think of her name or something. She did a really good job. She's so very charming in the movie that it's pleasant. It's a pleasant watch to watch. Will Smith, who normally ruins every movie he's in, couldn't have ruined this movie because it was already pre-ruined. So there was only so much damage that he could do. Not that he didn't do some damage.
Yeah.
But the movie stunk so much that you barely noticed him pretending to be a black person. It was barely noticeable, which is why I hate Will Smith. I find it very insulting when people do minstrel show comedy
in the Wild West.
When people do blackface and do a really bad impersonation of black people in a sort of mocking kind of way. That's Will Smith's acting.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. It kind of offends me on behalf of all of the people of color that are close to me in my life.
Yeah.
I'm offended at Will Smith's performance. However, his music I really enjoy. I enjoy it very much. My favorite song of his is Getting Jiggy With It.
Don't say jiggy.
Huh?
We're very PC here.
Whip my name.
Get jiggly.
Can't say jiggy no more.
Jiggly.
Well, that was his daughter, wasn't it?
So take your time watching the Suicide Squad.
All right. Yeah.
There.
Wait for Netflix is what
there's
you're saying.
So many. Wait for Netflix. Netflix is wonderful. Thank you, Netflix. And I want to thank Suds. Once upon a time, a long time ago, Suds was talking about Netflix all the time, and I'm like, meh, meh, meh. Like a lot of things that I hear about something good. But it didn't come out of my own head, so it's immediately like, meh. So Suds was solid. Netflix is awesome. Netflix is awesome. I'm like, no, I don't want to have envelopes. And he goes, no, not the envelopes. You want the online thing. I don't want to watch movies on my computer. And then finally, when I got the computer that I still have at home that had the interface, I can run a cable from the computer to the TV. Watch internet content like YouTube videos,
like web TV
on my TV. Ooh,
See, I just bought a couple of smart TVs.
Suds gave me. I just bought a smart TV.
Did you?
It's a
Great,
Roku, the TCL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, turn that camera off though.
One cable. One cable.
Did you do that?
Well, there's no camera.
You don't see the camera; it sees
says,
you.
That's why. It's getting quite a show at your house, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't have a smart TV. I got a dumb TV, and I prefer it
I have a special
that way.
needs TV. It's supposed to be smart, but
you got to turn the camera off.
All right,
it watches you.
Wait a minute.
Like when you're jerking off and
Where's
something.
this camera?
I don't jerk off in my bedroom.
Why
It's
do
like
they have a camera?
Smart TV.
The reverse camera
I've
you have
this.
in your phone.
Yeah.
You have one on the TV screen, and it watches
For the purpose
you,
of what?
Tracing what you watch and what you buy.
Oh, bah.
Okay.
Well,
well,
mine doesn't.
We will ask the Google.
Okay.
I like my smart TV.
I like my smart TV.
I don't care what it
How about you out there?
sees.
Do you like your smart TVs?
if you scratch your
like
balls, the
I want
world
you
will
to
see.
stick your head out the window right now and yell, I love my smart TV.
I love my smart. These windows don't open. But I do love my smart TV. But Suds was the person that he wouldn't take no for an answer, and I want to thank him. One day he comes in with one of those little cards with the promotional code on it.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. I used that card for the promotional code and got Netflix for $8.90 a month. And then within the year, Netflix really blew up and they started not allowing that introductory thing. But I had it. They let me have it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
They finally just raised me to $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
Netflix is awesome. And here's why I'm glad that I've been giving Netflix money all this time. The Netflix original productions are top notch. Wonderful. HBO started the whole thing. Let's call them alternative networks.
Yeah.
Because we were slaves for television programming to those three networks. And I watched an interview with one of the heads of them, and they said, you got to understand, we got kids and families watching. We have to do lowest common denominator programming. We can't be bold and brave like the cable channels are, where they can get into the R-rated zones. We just can't do that, and we have to stay away from subject matter. We're just very, and I guess I kind of appreciate that. Can you imagine, all the little church ladies out there watching ABC, just looking for problems to have, so they got to be.
That sounded like a tap dance to me. And
They gotta
here's
be
why.
Nuremberg.
Because even if they have a hit show, corporate has to meddle.
Sure.
I was just listening about what Seinfeld went through with that show.
Oh, yeah.
They had to fight them.
Oh, and us, the corporate's like, can't you stay in your office and count the money and just enjoy the fact that you're making money off of other people's effort? No, it's not good enough. Got to get your
I'll tell you who else
into the
is
creative pie.
no slouch in this business too is Amazon Prime.
No slouch. The man in the high castle, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I can't afford it.
I was just thinking the other day.
It's actually less than Netflix because it's it's $100 a year.
I was talking to one of my friends the other day. We were talking about characters and movies, and I said, who's been very underutilized as a character? Hitler.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
and no, as
springtime for Hitler.
Yeah. Well, only Mel Brooks, and even then it was just like a little joke here and there. I'm talking about movies where Hitler is one of the characters, where Hitler is involved in the plot, where Hitler is doing
in Germany.
In the 50s we had those the Hitler's brain. It was only very campy, over the top things, but Hitler,
there was
a lot of material there. No, wouldn't you say?
In 1972, there was a short-lived summer replacement show called The Ken Barry Wow Show.
All right,
with Steve Martin.
Okay.
And before anybody knew who he was. And they would do like kind of laugh-in inserts. It didn't quite work out too well. But one of the laugh-in inserts was Hitler singing, "Call Me Irresponsible." So he pops up now and then, is what I'm saying.
Oh, now and then, but not enough. He hasn't been. You look at all these shows like Game of Thrones, and they have these characters that are very devious and diabolical. Cersei is very popular now. She blew everybody up. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. But Hitler was a real life monster that was very successall as a monster. So you would think that there would be there's a lot of material there.
Trump
Hitler as a
outperformed
character.
him.
So
all you have to do is turn MSNBC on. There's
it was inevitable. I knew
our version.
It was just a matter of time before we got to that. But I wanted to thank Suds for turning me on to Netflix. Netflix. Here's some things to watch on Netflix right now because they just came out with the second season of Marco Polo. You got to watch that Marco Polo. It is top notch. 2 seasons now. It is rich.
Is it really?
It is vibrant. It is. First of all, it's beautiful.
All that from a pool game?
Beautiful. I know. It's amazing. The imagination.
Yeah.
It's got Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon kind of martial arts. The costumes are amazing. The people are all looking really good. They're really beautiful women. There's a naked martial arts scene.
Really?
That's just a thing of beauty to watch. You know what I'm talking? Naked woman beating the crap out of a whole bunch of
Wait a minute, this is on Netflix?
This is on Netflix. It's Marco Polo, the series. And it's brilliant. It's wonderful. You'll love it. Every gooey bit of it. The other thing, and I think it's on no, it's on Netflix, isn't it? Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that a lot.
On your recommendation,
Suds turned me onto that. Suds was the one that turned me onto Peaky Blinders.
I saw 3 shows and I didn't
in
like it.
No, blame Suds. It was his idea.
Well, no, you know why? Because I've been watching Coppers and I've been watching Ripper Street, which are fucking excellent shows. This thing just didn't live up to it. It wasn't bad.
What are those? Coppers and Ripper Street. Where are you seeing?
These are shows BBC made them, but they're on Netflix. Coppers is very good. It's done.
Okay.
But Ripper Street, they're still making new ones. And as far as production value and acting, it's phenomenal. So Pinky Blinders, I have to say, is very well made and acted, but the story itself just didn't really.
I like the story. Yeah.
Well, you got to like these people and their douchebags.
They were the good fellas of the turn of the century type of thing.
In Birmingham, in England at that time, what a beautiful garden spot that was. Oh, my God. In fact, I was talking to some people down at the King's Head about this, and they said, hey, basically, it still looks the same.
I know. They haven't cleaned it up. It's just a coal hole.
Coal hole. Yeah, there you go.
But so if you're a comic book fan, if you're a geeky sort of person, the Netflix originals, the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and now, because that's all a spinoff, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, who's Power Man, they eventually became the Defenders in the comic books.
Jessica Jones got good after like the 5th episode.
It took a while. Well, they had to, and they had to dole out the
Daredevil's very good.
The David Tennant. I didn't like the first season as much as the subsequent season of Daredevil.
And Chelsea Handler's on there too.
Chelsea Handler's on there.
I like her.
And lots of wonderful stuff to watch.
There is
on
just
Netflix.
tons of stuff. And like I said, don't be selling Amazon Prime short either.
No.
They have some incredibly good stuff.
Not bad, but I can't afford to be buying all of it, so I'll be downloading.
I got to tell you something about one of these superhero shows. There was a scene, and I can't remember if it was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or one of those genre of shows. And there was a scene where a gay couple, two guys, were bloody murder in a beautiful Park Avenue suite apartment, multi-room part. Had to be millions of dollars a month for this place. And all you see is blood all over this modern, beautiful apartment. And at first you feel sorry for these two guys who were terribly murdered. And at the end of the scene, they just looked at each other and went, hedge funders. And then you go, yay!
Yeah.
You know.
I just finished watching or rewatching The Sopranos on Amazon, and finished it up last week finally. And I was thinking about the show, and I thought, it's kind of ironic that Big Pussy was killed for having loose lips.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I knew I'd need that. Look, it's very dusty.
Not in the face.
Look how dusty it is.
Yeah.
My mother's got to see this.
But this is the second time I've seen it, and in the final episode, when what's her name? His daughter, she comes into the restaurant, and they go to that quick shot of Tony, and then to black.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, and the second time I saw it, the first thing I thought was, somebody's going to say, we'll be right back after.
No, I couldn't. That was a little bit heartbreaking, but I think they learned a lot from The Sopranos. I think that all of these makers, like Netflix and HBO, I think they learned a lot. Because Breaking Bad, they held it all the way to the end.
Yeah,
remember
did.
The Shield? The Shield was wonderful, right to the very last scene. Like, mwah, great. I just want to give me a toothpick and a mint. After
that was another show I couldn't like. Breaking Bad.
I liked them.
Well, I liked it, but it just made me cringe and twist around in my chair. I don't want to do that. Real life, I get that.
Sure.
When I watch television and or whatever, I
like surprises.
Sit back, relax, and
I like surprises.
Giggle.
And they deliver.
Maybe put my hand down my pants. I don't know.
Well, the Jessica Jones. You didn't watch the Jessica Jones because the Purple Man, the David Tennant character, was gruesome. He did some really gruesome things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very gritty.
He looks like Dennis Weaver.
Who, David Tennant?
Yes,
a little bit.
Anyway.
Maybe a little bit.
Dennis Weaver.
He does.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
Speaking of Dennis Weaver, when are they going to fix the Daily Show? What can someone explain to me? Can you explain Trevor Noah to me?
I've kind of gone away from it myself.
I stopped, and I'm sad and angry because here's a show that those people knew how important the show was to so many people. To bring in, because they could have, what was wrong with say choosing a John Oliver. For that, just giving the show to a John Oliver.
He was already signed with HBO.
How about any of the other people? What about Jessica Williams? Is that
she said no.
They really
and Sammy B. They didn't ask. I don't think.
And I think we're going to see Jon Stewart maybe come back.
I hope so, but see, here's the logic of it. No, don't tell me that we can't find an American comedian in America, big place.
Mm-hmm.
I see, speaking of Netflix, flicking through Netflix and the HBO, a lot of stand-up comedians that are out there working.
Lewis Black said they didn't approach him. He would have been happy to do it.
This guy, to get someone, and here is a show that has a chance of reaching people on the other side of the aisle, if you will. Here's a show that has a chance, through its comedy, through its disarming comedy, to reach people that are not, in that same camp. Possibly getting other people to change their way of thinking, because it can happen. It happened to me. It can happen to other people. To get someone who is so very foreign in every way. Here's a guy who's young, a stranger to the American audience, a nobody. All right,
I know the feeling.
Far away from established. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Far away from established, and he's not funny. He's not funny.
I know that
he's
feeling.
He's not
fake
funny.
Laugh.
He fakes laugh at himself. And where did they get this guy? Is he blowing somebody? I want to do the Glenn Garrett. Go. I don't know who you are, whose cousin you are, whose dick you're sucking. Whose dick is he sucking that he's there? He's not funny. He can barely speak. He's like my friend in school who thought he was funny, but he wasn't. And he just kept cracking jokes and laughing at his own joke and cracking jokes and laughing at his own joke.
You know what I think happened? And check me if I'm wrong on this.
All right.
I'll get my checker.
Check.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
In 1988, when Neil was on Zeta 4, cracking the 20s. To 20s, over 20 shares, 18 to 25 shares in the Miami market. What happened? Why did they want him out of there? It wasn't touch the money, because he was offered more money at IOD.
Yeah.
The reason, he was getting too powerful. Mm-hmm. He was getting too big, and they couldn't control him. And I think that's what they did with the... Once they Stewart said he was retiring, fine. But I think they saw an opportunity there to tune that show down.
Maybe.
Let's get somebody that absolutely nobody knows.
Let's
but there's a lot of other outlets for it. Well,
Wilmore would be great if they'd knock off those terrible skits. They're goddamn awful. But his monologue's great, and the interviews at the end are fine. I got
a new car, and it's got a GPS in it. I typed my comedy career in the destination for the GPS. Took me right to a Coinstar.
John Oliver, his show, it's not just funny, it's a really informative. When he does a story, he covers every single detail. And I know some conservative people, like libertarianish conservative people, that watch that show and really enjoy it and consider it very honest and credible. Even not Fox News watching conservatives. I don't know. I wanted to avoid it as long as possible because it makes me sad. The Trump thing and the Trump supporters and everything that's going on right now. I've been unfriending people left and right, and I really I have friends that I love and family members who I can't unfriend and disown, who are Trump supporters, and it's like, including my two brothers, who, and I don't even know how to act because my deceased brother was a special needs person. Probably contributed to the fact that he indulged himself and he was overweight and he smoked cigarettes and he had a heart attack and he died. But he had a brain damage problem and he spoke with a speech defect. And growing up, I lost count of how many times I overheard people making fun of the way that he spoke. And you don't have to have that kind of a thing in your life to be sensitive towards, special needs people who are differently abled, handicapped people. You don't need to be personally touched to be sensitive towards, the dignified treatment of people with special needs. You just need to not be a dick.
There you go.
You just need to not be a fucking asshole to be sensitive and to find it very unacceptable for people to go and do that kind of shit and mock someone with a disability. You just have to not be a fucking asshole. So for people like my brothers who, and I guess maybe because they stayed in Cuba, they didn't get to grow up with our brother the way that I did. They didn't get to go through the American school system with my brother the way that I did, and overhearing the kids, and even as adults.
Oh, sure.
Way into adulthood, we would be somewhere, and he was very sensitive about the way that he spoke. Not that it wasn't unintelligible. It was just it was
I don't
effective.
remember.
And no, he almost never spoke. I spoke for him. People say you guys are doing like a George and Lenny routine. This is like of Mice and Men. It's George, and his name wasn't Lenny, but it might as well have been because he was much bigger than me. Especially growing up, I was premature. I was I was a slow grower. Any minute now, I'm going to start.
I'll say this,
and he grew prematurely. He was much larger, but I always spoke for him. And people, for the longest time, people would say, hey, George and Lenny are my, and I didn't get it until I saw the movie. But it's horrible. And say what you will, because I don't like Hillary. I was a Bernie guy, and of course her and Debbie Wasserman Schultz stole the election. By the way, Tim Canova for Congress. Very upset. Anybody that was following my Facebook feed saw how many anti-Hillary things I was putting on there, and I think she's a slimy criminal, and all of these things, and stealing the election, and horrible things like that. So I don't like Hillary, but Trump is unacceptable. Any one of the things that he's done and said, any of the one things, disqualifies him. Show me a video of Hillary going, like making fun of special needs people.
It was like a couple of nights ago, right here in our fair state of Florida. Trumpy was blaming ISIS on President Obama.
Yeah, he created
President
ISIS.
Obama was the founder of ISIS, according to him. If Trump had done this, it would have been called Trump ISIS. And it would have been bankrupt by now.
I think there's a powder for that.
Yeah, there's a powder for that. I'm trying to be, our own very Angel on our network, Angel Espino, who does the soup, the jackal's head, the jackal.
Didn't he do that?
No, that's Louis the artist.
Oh,
the artiste who did that. Is a Trump guy, and I post something, and he's like started this long
Trump
argument.
Guy?
Angel
is.
I know. Explain to me the pro-Trump spics. Explain to me the pro-Hitler Jews. Explain. My brothers who go, we're citizens. We're citizens. I go, don't you understand? These people that you're lining up with, they hate you because you have a Z on the end of your name.
Yeah.
They'd deport you only if they thought that they couldn't get away with shooting you. These people hate you because you're a spic. Oh, but they're talking about the Mexicans. They're talking about you. They're talking about you, you dumb fuck, you dumb shit. These are, I can't disown my brothers were there for me when I needed money. My brothers, acting like brothers are
oh God.
And I don't know how, I don't want to talk to you. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by you, and I'm disgusted. Quite frankly, I'm disgusted by you. You think that it's cool. Because here's the thing. You think that it's cool to make fun of special needs people. It's like this. I don't make fun of special needs people, but you're okay with people who do. That makes you just as bad, asshole. I'm not in the Klan, but all my friends are. Like, for years, and correct me if I'm wrong, for years, because you've certainly got conservative people in your family. Boca? Yeah.
Not anymore.
So for years.
Not after this. No. Everybody has a line to draw in the sand.
Right.
And they did. They said, no, not Trump.
This is... And for all we know, this is all a big joke, because it seems like every day he wakes up and goes, what outrageous horseshit am I going to say to push the line even further to see what's it going to take? I'm waiting for the press conference any minute now where he gets up and says, I've been a lifelong Democrat. You've all seen the pictures of me with the Clintons, right? So Hillary said, hey, why don't you run as a joke? And I said, sure, okay, I'll get on there and I'll say a bunch of ridiculous shit, and I'll see how far I can go before they pull the plug on me. All right. What nobody underestimated was that there is no too far for these people. These bigots are so bigoted. All right. The people that we're talking about are so bigoted that you can get up there and say, I hate beaners, and I'm going to skull fuck your mother to death and your kids. And they'll turn to each other and say, did you hear that? He hates beaners. I'm voting for him twice.
Yeah.
You can say anything or nothing. You're so bigoted that someone can get up there and make a bigoted statement, and nothing else that comes out of their mouth affects you or phases you whatsoever because he's our boy, he's a bigot, and I'm a bigot too, and he's going to build that
And
wall.
a homophobe.
And a homophobe and sexist, of course.
Self-hating
all of that
homophobe,
stuff.
I might add.
All of that. Oh yeah.
Which is, by the way,
too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just
Yeah, but did you
singing the bigot song? Well, listen, don't worry about it. 20 years from now, people will be watching the tapes of Trump and going, "This is just incredible. This this couldn't have ever happened." But I think what's going to happen is Trump is going to leave the presidency for a younger country,
one that he could send back in 5 years.
Yeah.
That was a great line Mar had.
Oh.
That's why he kept the box.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to sit back here for a while.
No, you can't sit back here for a while. I made you drive all this way.
Yeah, I drove down here all this way, and I didn't even get high today or anything.
No,
That's what the show's for.
I wanted to
Get high right now.
I normally I set some time aside for that, but I was just way too busy writing notes and show prepping. Did you? Okay.
I dropped my tampon.
Oh, okay. Go drop it again. I'll look down your dress.
As long as we're dropping stuff. Hey, Suds, do you think you could get me the toothpicks over there?
Oh, yeah, man.
They're right on the other side of the turmeric. It's yellow.
You found it.
Thank you. This was very...
but I wanted to ask Suds,
fancy toothpicks that we have here.
have you been listening to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast? Remember I sent you the link for it? Oh.
No.
Oh.
You did?
You won't be... Yeah, I did.
Oh.
You got to check your messages on Facebook.
Okay.
But if I check it, if it's not there, I'll give it to you
Well,
now.
it's all right.
At any rate, it's addicting.
Oh.
I can't stop listening. There's over 200 of these shows at an hour each. People you have... I just heard Marvin Kaplan. Now, this is what I'm saying. Marvin Kaplan. It's one of those names you don't know, but if you see the guy, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was Benny on Top Cat.
Oh,
He talks like this.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like 90 years old.
Top Cat.
What they're trying to do, they're trying to get all these guys before they die.
Oh, good
to
idea.
give like a small bio for about an hour of all the stories that there was no internet, so a lot of this stuff is not published.
Yeah.
And one of the stories that somebody told them that worked on the Batman set, they had 2 cat women on the shows already, and they had Adam West and all. But the story goes like this. When Cesar Romero was playing the Joker, he would have, and of course, he was gay. He would have his pretty boys follow him to a small kiddie pool with warm water, and he'd step in ankle deep.
I'm going to start bringing up bags so I can just put it over my head.
This is one of those mysteries because we don't know if it's true. And there's been songs written about this.
That's got to be true.
So
that's too good.
He would drop his pants and go into this kiddie pool.
Go on.
No, wait. I can't get through this.
Okay, go.
Without dying.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Okay, go ahead.
When you're depressed and low,
wearing this at the King's Head.
This is what you have to think about to cheer you up.
Yeah, I'm going to peek.
Cesar Romero in a warm pool.
Yes.
His attractive boyfriends behind him.
Okay.
And they were tossing orange slices at his naked ass. Now, the question is, was it, because there's an argument here, was it orange slices or tangerine?
What?
Because.
Okay.
All right, coming down.
And this is a running theme.
Yes.
It no matter who he had Dick Van Dyke on. It doesn't matter who he has on the show. There was a rumor that Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
So now, of course, it's down to were the skins on him because it was softer without the skins. I'm sorry. I'll just leave it there, and I'll give you the link.
All right.
At least it wasn't baloney.
No.
By the way, I just want to mention Gilbert Gottfried. I think his performance in Sharknado 4 was just over the top. Perfect.
You know,
you saw it, didn't you?
I haven't seen any of the
Sharknadoes.
Sharknados.
No, you didn't see Sharknado 4?
I haven't seen any of the Sharknados.
What?
No. Is that a thing that I need to see?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Very much so.
I'm gonna write this down then.
You have
Sharknado. No, I didn't. All right. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. I saw the advertisements and everything, and I didn't take it seriously.
Well, you're not supposed to.
I really thought it was a gag.
Yeah, that's like the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
The Trump campaign. I thought it was a gag. So did everybody else, and so does he. He thinks it's a gag. It's like, oh, look at this. I can just say anything. Like these people. So for years, here's the thing. So our conservative friends, for years, and correct me if I'm wrong if you weren't playing this game too, the conservative people in your life, I'm pretending that you're too stupid to do math, and that's why you believe that supply side economics, or AKA trickle down economics works, that you believe that works because you can't do math, because you're stupid, and therefore that's why you're a Republican. Not because you're a bigot. This is the game that I had to play. This is the cognitive dissonance game that I had to play with myself in my head in order to continue to interact with my Republican friends and family members. Oh, no, they're not bigots. You know they are. No. They're bigots. It's the only reason to be a Republican. No, because there's no reason. No, they're not bigots. They just believe in supply side economics. They just really, really believe that. But there's no evidence to suggest that. There's no reason to believe that. It has never ever worked. There's no example. Yeah, but they bought some rhetoric. They bought into some rhetoric, and they just really believe that rich people are job creators, and they just believe that. It's not because they're bigots. And the voice inside my head, the conscience goes, they're bigots, and you're just in denial. No. That's the game that I played with myself. All right, but now with Trump, I did play that game. It's called mental masturbation.
That's with this smart TV.
A winner every time. Anyway, but now with the Trump thing, it's like you're actually now walking around with the sheets on, with the swastika, you're carrying a burning cross, and now I can't pretend that you're not a bigot anymore. And there are people saying, Trump has made it acceptable. I know what you're thinking in your mind. Trump has made it acceptable for me to wear my sheet out in broad daylight. Trump has made it acceptable for me to be a bigot out in broad daylight. It's okay to be a bigot. No, it's not. It's never okay. It's never been okay. It's not okay now. It's never going to be okay. And everybody sees right through it now. Now it's so very obvious that here's a guy he's a maniac. He lies. He just makes shit up as he goes along. He's a fucking moron. He doesn't know a goddamn thing about anything. He's totally stupid. I think it's ironic that he's making fun of special needs people because he's the blathering idiot and moron. He talks in word salad. Before you can recognize that something is a word salad, you have to be smart enough to understand English language. So these people hear Trump talk and he's saying, he's saying just a whole bunch of horse shit, and they're like, oh, that makes sense to me. I go, it makes sense to you because you're used to faking your way through life. In school, when there was a lecture and it was going over your head, you just nodded your head up and down like you understood it. This sounds the same to you. The word salad that Trump and Sarah Palin spew out sounds the same as a lecture that you don't understand because it's going over your head. So you can't tell the difference between a smart person talking and a stupid person talking. Because when someone says 2 + 2 = 4 or 2 + 2 = 5, you have no idea which one is the right one. None whatsoever. So you're just going to agree with the person that is wearing a swastika. The person wearing a swastika says 2 + 2 = 5, and you're like, oh, that's my guy. And I can't do the cognitive, I can't play along anymore. I can't do that fake game where I have to pretend that they're not bigots anymore, the people in my family and my friends. I can't pretend anymore. And by the way, since I'm on a tear, I know what it's like, and perhaps Boca knows what it's like too, to be in denial for years, to be in denial of reality for years. Because once upon a time, I was very, very born again and very, very right wing. As a young man, I was a very born again Christian, very fundamentalist Christian, and very right wing. I had a Ronald Reagan blow up doll and a poster above my bed. Okay? I had a Ronald Reagan shrine in my house. That's how right-wing I was. And the reason that I stopped being that way is because I couldn't hold back the wall of reality enough. My powers of cognitive dissonance, my ability to deny reality was not as strong as reality. And reality came crashing through, and I had to come to terms. And it was painful. It's very painful to have to admit to yourself that you've been wrong about so much for so long. It really hurts your ego. You've got to allow yourself to take a blow to your ego. It hurts to have to admit that you've been fooled, that you've been stupid, that you've been naive, that you've been believing things because you wanted them to be true, not because they were true. And this is what's going on right now. You've got faith-based people, and that doesn't just that's not just with regards to religion. If someone comes in right now and said, like, if Suds was late for the show and he said, "I'm sorry I'm late, I got a speeding ticket," and we believe him, it's because we want to believe him. Somebody in the room might say, "I don't believe you," okay? Because they don't want to believe it. If Suds doesn't pull a speeding ticket out of his pocket, the people that believe him because they want to believe him on faith, and the people that don't believe him because they don't want to. Because that's how you do it. If you haven't been given any evidence, what you believe is what you want to believe. Somebody tells you negative gossip about one of your friends, okay? Someone says, I know that George Rodriguez, he's a ripoff artist, you know? I gave him $20 to paint my fence, and he took the $20 and he didn't paint my fence. And Boca would probably say, fence. I've known George Rodriguez for years, and he might be a lot of things, but he's not a ripoff artist. I don't believe that. Is what Boca would say, and the reason that Boca would say that is because you don't wish to believe something like that. But let's say that you hear a negative rumor about somebody that you don't like as much. Let's say Alan Michaels. Okay?
Is he still on?
And
another thing,
you hear something about Alan, or somebody. Let's say that's somebody that you don't like Joe Bell. All right, you hear something that you don't like, you might tend to believe it because you want to believe it. And that's what's going on here, whether it's Jesus or God or Donald fucking Trump. What you're believing is what you want to believe because there's absolutely no reason to believe anything positive. He's not a good businessman. He's a mediocre con man. He's not smart. Yeah. He's not classy. He's not glib. He doesn't know how to talk. He does not have good words. He does not use good words. He does not have the best words. He has the worst words. He has the shortest and the stupidest words, and he doesn't know how to use them. And you're too stupid to realize that. And the only reason it's all okay is because you're bigots. Because you're bigots and because you want that fucking wall.
In my view, it's not so much Trump, but who he's bringing on board if he gets in. His cabinet. We're talking about David Barton. We're talking about with the Liberty Council, Matt Staver.
Right.
Every evangelical nut fuck, every bigoted right-wing shithead will be on there, and I guarantee you, and if you don't believe me, ask George Takei. Those camps are going to go up, and they're going to have speed rail, all right, but there's going to be people on them in cargo. And it's going to happen because it's happened before. How many times in history? We keep going to the Hitler thing, but it's happened prior to that too.
Sure.
And it just keeps us. It's a consistent cycle. And what it is like what you said, blind allegiance, because these people are in need of leadership. They feel they've been abandoned by
fascism,
and so they latch on.
And my older brother, I unfollowed him. On Facebook, like I can't unfriend him. He's posting all this pro-Trump shit, and like during the Bernie campaign, he's calling Bernie a fascist. He calls Obama a fascist. Like, you don't know what a fucking fascist is. You fucking moron.
He's a fucking fascist or something. That's what he is.
Mentally ill. Mentally ill. My family members are mentally ill. That's what I have to do now.
Would it kill him?
That's what I have to do in my head.
Would it kill him to go online and look it up? Everybody's got this. On the phone.
Don't want to.
Would it kill him to look up the definition of fascism, which is actually corporate oligarchy?
No, they don't want to be proven wrong. They don't want to read anything that's going to show them how wrong they are. They just want to hear somebody tell them how right they are.
Yeah.
White people good, everybody else not as good.
Yeah.
Everybody else bad.
Of course, as every white person knows, there's no bad white people, right? Charles Manson? I mean,
those are aberrations.
Was this automatic approval for? What are they calling it now? White privilege.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to an extent, how many white people who are absolute fucking assholes?
Couple.
Okay.
Oh,
couple
most.
or three.
I would say most. Yeah.
Thank you. So why are these
If I made a list, if I made a list of the people who have caused me problems in my life, it would be a long time. If I started like listing them off in order, it would be a long time before I started putting minorities on there. Any minorities? All right. The people
I would have to put myself at the top of the list.
Sure. Well, I'm a minority.
The cause of
I mean, being an asshole in my life.
Oh yeah. Well, that's true.
The cause of our broken dreams came from white people. The reason why we're out of work was all white people.
Greedy white people.
Greedy white people.
Greedy old white people.
That wear ankle garters on their socks.
The reason that the broadcast industry is shitty, greedy white people. The reason that everything is shitty in the world that is shitty is greedy old white people.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. That's like there's videos all the time. There's a guy that explains the origins of that white, non-white, because it didn't used to be that way in America. It was like everybody identified with I'm Irish, I'm Italian. Being from Africa was the same as being Italian or Irish before it became, oh no, white people and then black people, you're the slaves, and there's this whole strata. You've got slaves, then white indentured servants above that.
You're talking long.
Yeah, this is a whole lecture of how it all started, and of course who created that system were the owners, the landowners that wanted to make sure that that this group of people identified with us and not their brothers, not their fellow worker, not their fellow peers. By the way, these are the fancy toothpicks. Anyway, that said, I'm exhausted. I kind of have tapered off posting things online. I realize that when you're dealing with faith-based people who have an amazing power, the power to deny reality, I don't feel the need to argue with them anymore. I understand that it's a waste of time, and where I'm at in my life right now is I appreciate, look at the beauty, look at the beautiful sky, look at the beautiful blue sky that's out there in the sun and the nice palm trees, and we're in an air-conditioned room. I'm just really, really happy now, and I want to stay in my happy place in my mind, so I don't want to get involved in arguments or discussions with these people anymore who are in denial of reality. If you encounter someone and they say, the sun rises in the west, and you say, well, it rises in the east, and they say, no, I heard someone say that it rises in the west, or I read a book that says that I saw a post on Facebook, I read a book that says that it rises in the west, and you say, here's a compass and a watch, it's the morning, here it is, you can actually watch the sun, there it is coming up now, look at the compass, it's pointing west. Go, oh, that's a joke compass. That's a joke compass there, or that's the devil's compass. So you have people that have the ability to deny reality even when confronted with evidence. So what's the point talking to that person anymore? What do you hope to accomplish talking to that person anymore except getting yourself very, very frustrated?
I just posted a picture of the Trump cabinet on Facebook. If you'd like to check it out, it's
serious. You're not joking, that because every time Suds talks.
I just did that. Yeah.
What? Like I said before, the best show on Facebook. So it's Coleman, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
I think I'm going to do something I never do. Well,
what's that? Live tweet?
No, I'm going to take a
selfie.
Yeah,
of all of us.
No,
who
just
is that?
Me. That's the way I am. You know what I always say? Hey, baby, don't bogart that dopamine. All right, my man.
So,
are you doing a Suds calendar?
Are you doing anything? Is this a selfie or a thing? Because we need we need a group shot. Chris, are you still here?
No, he just left.
Oh man,
he's
had enough.
He skulked out.
He skulked out. Oh, I really wish that he hadn't skulked out. I want a group picture for the show post.
Yeah.
After this,
we can do it after this show.
Yes, we will.
Oh my God!
What did it come out good?
Yeah,
I didn't know you took it.
It would have come out good. Well, I was just.
That's a wonderful group shot.
That.
It's a saber.
A saber?
A saber.
Well,
a loose sabin.
I might post it because I don't give a rat's ass.
Stop giving rats. Yeah, I wish. But here's the thing: I have to tell myself. I wish I had come to this epiphany way younger. The not giving any fucks.
Yeah.
But that's the consolation for when you get older.
It is.
Listen,
yes.
If it weren't for getting older and wiser, getting older would just only suck.
Yes.
It would only suck. There'd be nothing good about it. But getting older and wiser, that's young and dumb. They say that. Who says that? Old people. Mm-hmm. Youth is wasted on the young. And I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Because you do get older, but I don't know about the... Well, you do get wiser.
I'm wiser.
But a lot of times you really are still stupid.
Did you ever watch the Straight Story? No pun intended.
No.
Okay, the Straight Story. It's got the old guy, I think Grandpa Walton stars in it, as an old man who rides rides a riding lawnmower across the country to see his ailing brother, Harry Dean Stanton. And there's a lot of wisdom being doled out, and so he's hanging with these young people, and he said, well, what's good about getting older? And he said, well, the older you get, the better you get at separating the wheat from the chaff. And I thought, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I meet people, and I'm really good at summing them up a little bit better than I used to be.
Will Gere was gay.
Yes, he was.
And I think he was one of the people in Danny Thomas's living room where one day they squat on a glass table while Danny was...
What? They squat? So you can't just blow
That's another story.
Squatting on a glass table, and what
another
happened?
Gilbert Gottfried story?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. The shit that goes
banging on the table,
because it's so fucking hilarious. I mean, Danny Thomas liked to go under a glass table.
Yeah.
Okay.
A coffee table, preferably. And have people shit on them.
Oh
my God.
And they come up with the names of people who may have been
on the
shitters.
Rick and Suds show, we killed Danny Thomas.
That's right.
He died the day after we talked to him on the air.
That did it. You put the last nail in his coffin.
There you go.
Yeah. I think there was somebody else also, but I don't recall who, that died like a day or two after we had talked to him.
Did you bring that story up?
Huh? To what?
To Danny Thomas, the pooping on the table story.
On the glass.
I never knew about that until just this very instant.
Oh, wow.
So are you
killed him sooner?
So we know that. By the way, I'm telling everybody that I'm voting for Gary Johnson because I was so very anti-Hillary that all my conservative friends are like, well, Bernie's out. What are you gonna do now, huh? Mr. Hillary hater, what are you gonna do now? And by the way, because this is a good thing, try it. It's fun. I say I'm voting for Gary Johnson, and watch their eyes kind of do that googly eye thing.
They don't know who he is.
They do now. He's Poland. But they're like, blink, blink in confusion, like, oh, because they totally expect me to say Hillary. And they're, Gary Johnson, libertarian.
First of all, no chance there. That's
No,
a throwaway.
of course not.
The other thing is Jill Stein. All you Jill Stein supporters out there, it's kind of hard to get elected president if you're only on the ballot in 33 states.
Yeah.
And it might help if you served in office for like 2 seconds.
Hey, Green Party, how about running some people for dog catcher first? How about running some people for, right here, like county commission? How about run some people for sheriff?
Well, now they might have an opposing argument because Trump never saw the inside of an elected office either. So,
and how about calling it the Green Sparkly Party?
It doesn't matter.
Put a little life into it,
Yeah, you're right.
Jeez. Well.
But no, of course, neither one of these people has a chance to fix this.
There you go.
The Margarita Party. No, that's too spickish.
The Green Fizz Party.
We can't.
I had Lyme disease, but tequila will cure that.
The Green Meanie. By the way, speaking of Lyme disease and tequila, finally got to see the inside of Margaritaville.
Oh,
my
where?
friends were here. The one in Hollywood over here.
They built it?
Oh, yeah.
It's built. It's been in full swing for months now.
Really?
I have to, because I was I had very mixed feelings about it as a old school Hollywood kind of guy.
Yeah.
When I first heard about it, I thought that they were going to tear up the band shell. That was the original plan, is that they were going to give and I freaked out. A lot of people did. So what they did is they refurbished the band shell. They turned Johnson Street into a promenade where you can only drive a little bit into it, and there's a little turnabout where you can drop people off and pick people up. Big restroom facility, and the band shell is still there with the folding seats and everything. And then right next door, the Margaritaville complex. Before I get to Margaritaville, the Wings souvenir shop that's right next to Margaritaville, right there on Johnson Street. They have them in different places. Wings,
no, I don't remember.
beachside souvenirs. Beautiful place, big. I went with my friends from Orlando to Key West and hit every souvenir stand in between. They have the best prices and the best selection of it. It's palatial. It's like a souvenir superstore. Really cool things like ashtrays, like pot leaf ashtrays.
Yeah.
They have, the beer bottle cozies that you can zipper your beer bottle into with the bottle opener attached to them. And it looks like a shark's Hollywood Florida.
Yeah.
Really neat things. I'm going to do all my Christmas shopping there. Just wait, you'll get something. But like clothes and scuba diving equipment for surfboards, and the prices are great. There were things in there easily half what they were charging in Key West for the same object, dart and shell, and things like that. Meanwhile, Margaritaville,
I like it.
Beautiful inside.
Yeah.
The back pool complex area is like multi-level with different pools. It's all landscaped very nicely. We went inside into the Land Shark Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Beautiful views from wherever they sit you. You can watch people walk up and down the broad walk. You can watch the kids surf in the wave pool that they have there. You can watch a band perform at the band shell right there. And the prices were no more expensive than you would find at any other restaurant inland. I thought this is going to be a gouge fest. The parking there in the building itself, which is, I guess they've got a... I don't know, a partnership with the city, a not gouging. 3 hours, $3. If you park for less than 3 hours, it's $3. So that's plenty of time to eat, shop, walk over to Nick's or something like that. So it looks nice. It fits in. It's very palm tree, very Florida. Well done. They're building some other monstrous building like another block south of there. That's too bad. I knew that this was going to be the beginning of that. Like you see the construction over here in the circle.
Yeah.
Another giant building going up. The secret's out. What were they going to do, the developers, when they built so far west that they couldn't go any further? They built right up to the berm, and it's like, now what? They discovered Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was very underdeveloped and underappreciated.
They're going to start to the east and start working west again.
Yeah.
And
with the refurbishing thing. But speaking... Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Margaritaville saved my life. This is a true ass story here. Margaritaville in Key West. I knew a fellow there by I won't give his name, but he was the manager there, and he went to Cancun, and wouldn't you know it, I went to Cancun, and my wife and her sisters have a condo there, right across the street from Margaritaville in Cancun. So this was a number of years ago. By the way, I'm going down next month. Anybody want to go?
To Cancun or Margaritaville?
Cancun.
No.
Okay. So we're going down to Cancun, and Margaritaville's right across the street. I go over there. Well, we both go over there, and guess who's the general manager there? This guy. Yeah, from Key West. So that's great. He's on his way. He and a friend of his are going to open up a place, I don't know, in Honduras or Guatemala or something. I don't know. But anyway, I get a kidney stone attack.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
So if anybody's ever had one, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't had one, good.
No, I don't want to.
So
lots of water.
I tell him, I'm sitting at the bar, and I said, oh, shit, I can't believe this. I haven't had one of these in years, and now I'm having a kidney stone attack. So I go back across the street to the condo, and about an hour later, knock on the door.
Yeah.
Here's a kid from Margaritaville. He's got a big tray full of margaritas, big containers, those vacuum cold drops.
Yeah.
He said, you might want to have these. Send them over for you. And so I drank them. And about 3 hours or so goes on, and I'm taking a whiz, and sure as hell, bing, out comes the kidney stone.
Wow.
Yeah, so Margaritaville saved my life in Cancun.
I'll keep that in mind. Speaking of saving lives, we got Flash, who's a frequent visitor of our show, on the phone right now, if you can hear me. Flash?
Hey, George, how are you?
Hey, that works. See, Alan was completely full of crap when he called earlier. Thanks for calling up, Flash. Thanks for joining the show. Flash is doing Everglades awareness. It already started. There was something last weekend and something going on this weekend too, correct?
Yeah, we're working with Love the Everglades Movement Summer Symposium, and we had a 2-day presentation last week. We had a bunch of speakers on Saturday at the Miccosukee Resort. A bunch of information, networking, good stuff there. And then we did workshops at FIU on Sunday. And this Sunday, we're doing an Everglades cleanup. So for all those people that actually want to get out there, get dirty, and help the Everglades on a hands-on basis, we're going to be meeting at the Miccosukee Resort at 4 p.m. and then caravanning out to some different spots by the Value Jet Memorial Site.
That's great. That's really, wow.
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you heard anything further about, I don't know, Miccosukee or the Seminole Indians successfully put a hold on poisoning the water here to pave the way for frackers? That Rick Scott thing?
Actually, yeah, there is some injunction because they filed suit against the regulations, and that did sort of stop the process. I'm not really sure how far things are going, but I definitely commend the Seminoles for doing that because they were able to get the injunction because they filed the lawsuit.
We're all very grateful.
That's great news. Flash is a local. Would you call yourself an activist?
Activist works.
As close to a professional activist as I can tell. Always doing good work. Always doing good things for the community and walking the walk. And by that I mean riding his bike. Yeah. He doesn't own a car, man. He rides his bike and does the public transportation. I was watching something the other day. This lady. Was a video came up on YouTube. This lady's she carries around this mason jar. It's 3 years worth of her garbage. She teaches people how to live a sustainable lifestyle without live a sustainable lifestyle and she does it. She leads by example, and she's not old. You'd think that much wisdom you'd have to be like an old lady, but I thought, man, I bet you she knows Flash. She's one of those people that doesn't just talk the talk but walks the walk. We really appreciate it over here on the show. You have something else coming up in September. You want to touch on that?
We are working on the 9th annual Everglades Awareness Benefit Concert. It's going to be happening at Gramps, and that's going to be an all-day event. It's all ages, starting at 2 p.m., going to 1 a.m. We are encouraging young people to come out, bring the families out. We've got a great lineup of performers with the Spam All-Stars, Iko, the Baboons, Night Champions, Medicine Box, Grant Livingston, and a whole lot more. So we're encouraging people to come on out and celebrate for the Everglades.
No, where's this?
It's going to be at
Will
Gramps.
be at Gramps in Wynwood, yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Wynwood.
It's the 9th annual. Yeah, well, I'll wear a lot of off. Just spray lots of, off.
Yeah, we'll be bringing some citronella candles. But realistically, I think that the Zika issues will be resolved in some form by then.
Yes, I know that Rick Scott has it all well in hand.
Yeah.
After cutting
I
his
don't really
lizard
believe
tail.
in him per se,
No.
but I think there are other more competent people that are doing
Yeah,
things.
that's true. Rick Scott, help us, federal government, after I cut mosquito control funding by 40%.
Yeah.
Help me,
Yeah,
Obama.
that's right.
We're good friends.
Well, we can thank the villages up north for him.
Yeah, the villages up north in the sugar industry.
Let's vote for Scott again. We're going to die anyway.
Come to Florida, we have Zika and brain-eating amoeba.
Zika-dika-doo.
Yes, we do. And the algae, how's that algae going?
Oh, my God.
You know what happens with the Zika baby because Zika's been around for 60 years.
Oh, yeah.
So that would
it's nothing
explain
new.
our present Congress.
Maybe that's where all these modern Republicans come from.
That's right.
Zika. Sorry, Flash.
There are calls for buying certain sugar lands to be able to create more of a sustainable flow for the Everglades. So there are options to be able to fix the problem. It's just a matter of getting public support involved to stimulate more political will.
Well, didn't they just buy some
while
land
everybody's
here?
focused?
I find it funny. Isn't it funny, like when the government wants some land, they say, eminent domain, it's ours, but when it's for a really good reason, we got to buy it. We don't have the money to buy it from the individuals. We can't just take it.
Well, actually, we do have the money because Amendment 1 passed 2 years ago. So there is money available, but Rick Scott has been reallocating funds to his own discretion. So it is important while people are focused on the presidential election. There's a lot of local elections that we could be switching, and a lot of those Republicans that are voting in favor of fracking are up for re-election. So it's time for people to pay attention to local issues and vote the bad people out and get some fresh blood in there.
Yes. See, either that or you get a benzene smoothie.
Fracking in Florida would be really dangerous for us, because of the way the aquifer's set up with the porous limestone. Industrial chemicals can get all through that really easily, and there's no way to stop it once it's started. So we really need to get ahead of the issue and make sure fracking doesn't happen and support people like State Senator Dwight Bullard, who's been fighting fracking on the state level with legislation. And he's actually up for re-election as well. So for people that are in the South Miami area, they can vote for him and get involved in his campaign because he's a really strong supporter of stopping fracking.
That's great. That's good to know. By the way, we're wearing our Tim Canova paraphernalia over here on the show today. I don't know if you can see.
I'm wearing my Judy Canova.
Judy Canova.
Tim Canova was actually one of the speakers at the symposium. He had a great presentation and working on helping his cause as well, because I think he will be a refreshing change from the current elected official who's in that seat.
Is he going to be involved in your Everglades thing?
I have asked him. We just have to check schedules, but ideally, once he passes the primary on August 30th, then we'll be able to help him on the next phase with the general election, which I think he should win because he's got a lot of good support behind him.
Excellent. Well, we're talking about getting him in here either on my show or just making a special election coverage show here on SoFlo. So maybe we'll involve you in that. Get Tim in here.
Public service.
Somebody, Woody Graber had somebody that he wanted to get some attention for. So I said, yeah, let's get a political show going. Fewer fart sounds, more serious talk.
Debbie thought she was going to be a smarty pants by burying the debate with him, with Tim Canova, on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, only on a local TV station. Now,
Channel 4, I think.
This race has a national eye on it, and everybody's going to see it. What was wrong with her thinking that,
I saw that last night. Yeah, the 8 o'clock Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I thought, what the hell?
From 8 to 9 on CBS 4.
She's still up to her hijinks.
She doesn't care. Here's the thing about the money people. I got my money. Fuck you.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care what you think about them. They've got their yacht. They've got their private club.
And for those of you who think she's done well by Hollywood, she's one of our great representatives. She lives in Parkland.
Mm-hmm. No, she lives in Weston.
Like I said, she lives in Weston.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Not too far from.
Yes, she's my congresswoman. She's my Congress thing.
Yeah.
Here. So yeah, I'm voting Tim Canova. Go Tim. Flash, though, the people want to be involved, they just show up at 4 o'clock over there at the Miccosukee?
Yeah, at the Convention Center Resort right by 8th Street and Chrome. There'll be a group of us there, and then we're going to be caravanning out, so be there before 4. We'll have a little orientation. We're going to be doing more than just picking up garbage, and we're going to be working on getting rid of some invasive species, certain plants that are not supposed to be there, so we're looking on the botany side as well.
Excellent.
So it was really about education and getting people out there and introducing people to the Everglades, because a lot of people don't get out that far.
Right.
And I think it's important to be able to see as much of the Everglades as you can, because it is your water supply.
Right on.
Are you aware of the rocket ship that's underground down in Homestead?
What? Why? Stop it.
Because
we got another call.
really.
I just shared your post on my Facebook page, and I'll be sharing it on the SoFlo page as well, Flash. But
Cool, thank you.
Thanks for calling in, and we'll talk more. We'll talk more. We'll definitely get you on the show for before the Everglades Awareness Concert comes up.
Cool. Thank you, George.
You bet, Flash. I'll talk to you later. I'm not going to let you distract from this very important phone call from Flash. Especially got somebody else on the phone over here. Hello, SoFlo Radio. It's the George Show.
Hello, George.
Hello, caller.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, it's caller. Yeah. As,
how you doing?
The head of George Boca and Suds.
Hello.
No Costello.
No, Joe recorded a video. We played it earlier on the show. We buried it in the middle of a commercial break.
Yeah. Well, anyway, congrats on your 7 years. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you. Right, we're still kicking.
I remember your first day or two. It was messing with wires and feedback.
Weird. That wasn't feedback. That was a theremin. Boca was playing his theremin. Woo! It was the Star Trek theme. We just
the Sunday Night Mysteries theme.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling up. Thanks for being a part of it.
Well, you made it this far. But I just wanted to say, going back 20, 25 years ago, I think about my life back then, and it involved listening to you guys, Ranieri, Neil, Phil, Rick and Suds, and used to listen to the radio with my buddies at work and, get some genuine laughs out of that. Really miss that these days,
Well, there'll never be anything like it. You're lucky to have been a part of it. We all are.
Yeah.
All right,
but
sir.
Anyway, keep it up. One more thing, too, is I mentioned to you online about promoting my new band.
Oh, that's you, yeah.
Just joined them. They're called the Drip Effect, and it's kind of heavy alternative stuff.
It's not bad. It's all over the place. It's well, you don't have just one sound, which is what I liked.
Right, and these guys are pretty young and energetic, so I'm your age, so they keep me on my toes. Anyway, it's a good band, and we're going to be at Propaganda this tomorrow night, and at Churchill's down in Miami Thursday night. Just want to let you know.
Yeah, Churchill's Thursday night?
Right, yeah.
All right, I might have to... and what was the other place? Propaganda?
And this Saturday night at Propaganda in Lake Worth.
All right. Send some stuff. Listen, I'll share your... if you guys have an event thing, I'll definitely share them on the SoFlo page.
All right, I'll keep in touch with you then.
Do you know what time you're going to be on Thursday at Churchill's?
No, I don't. There's a few bands playing. I don't have the chart yet, but I'll let you know.
I haven't been in a while. I haven't been to Churchill's in a while, so I'll see if there's any interest.
Same here. I've been there since the 80s. But
get a posse together. It looks the same, and now that Tobacco Road is no longer open, it's like that's it. Churchill's. That's the Dade County location for local music.
Where is it?
Right.
Churchill's. It's not like on 50-something Street, right?
I think it's Little Haiti, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all right. It's still there. They got the buses, and they sell Coke right there outside. the parking lot. The parking lot attendants. He's not really a parking lot attendant, but he pretends that he is. You know,
he has something else in his coat.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a full service bar. Churchill's. They get us on tap. It's a nice place.
Yeah,
got a lot of graffiti in the bathroom. When they tear that place down, I'll just cry. We got Churchill's, and we got like Culture Room in Broward. Those are the local band hangouts. That's it. Well, good, man.
So we got to keep it going.
I'll try to get a posse together and go see you guys. Lend some support. But get back to me on the time. And in the meantime, I'm going to download your songs from SoundCloud and add them to the rotation here on SoFlo Radio because we are South Florida music and talk. You know.
Excellent. Thanks, George.
You bet. And what was your name again?
The name of the band is The Drip Effect.
Got it. All right. Thanks for being a part.
Right. Doy.
And that's how you end a phone call, ladies and gentlemen. That guy could give.
Somebody accused me of having a coke nail the other day. Remember?
Yeah, you had one long pinky nail.
I tell them, that's my peanut butter finger.
So you don't get the jelly mixed in. It makes sense.
You got a bunch of wonderful things for us to play. The Cole Sandler show is in progress, but it doesn't matter which show you listen live. You can switch over there or listen to this because it's immediately downloadable or viewable within seconds.
In my defense,
within minutes.
There really is a rocket ship on.
Okay, well I just didn't want to tangent off into Rocket World. So what the fuck?
Under the Everglades.
Under the Everglades.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you didn't let me finish. There was a rocket, Aerojet, abandoned testing facility, and there's to this day there is a spaceship rocket engine still sitting under the Everglades.
Let's go get it.
Under the Everglades.
It's right here. Here you go. There.
Maybe I could use that as a bug out shelter.
Well, you could. Hey, listen, this could be reconverted into studios.
That's a solid fuel rocket
at the Everglades.
Wow,
just sitting there. Nice.
Look at that.
Is it free? Can we take it?
Go ahead.
Is it free for the take?
Tow up behind your car.
All right, 217 on all free rocket radio. SoFloRadio.com.
Longer, firmer, and fully packed with flavor.
And that's why I think the Jets will have a championship season.
The Jets?
And what did I tell you? You don't talk till I say you can talk.
This is the Beast.
I said, shut up, fatso.
But you're like a father to me.
You don't talk till I'm done talking. When I'm done talking, then you talk.
Okay, I'll...
Hey, Beast, come here.
What?
Come here. I want you to meet a friend of mine, Mr. Golf Club. Why, I oughta... I'm gonna show you the business end of this thing. Come here. This court sentences you to 20 years in Oz. What you in for? I thought a tag off my mattress. Looks like we'll be bunkmates. The name's Mohammed David. Star of stage screen in paradise. What's yours? Nick owes me coffee. You got so tan. Right, thank you. Hey, get out. What are you doing? So powder and drill, honey. I'm gonna make you my woman. Hey, nobody. Stop it. God. Hold still, Pinky.
All right, shower time. You got 10 minutes.
Well, what's to be safe in here?
Yo, Bowtie.
Yo, man.
Get a load of our new Linda Blair over there.
Ain't so is pretty.
Okay.
Hey, don't embarrass me like that. Do you know who I am?
Okay, man. Bend over and pick it up now.
Found me a broom handle. All right. But I expect a written apology on my best one.
That broom handle, Bowtie.
Say hello to broom handle.
The warden will see you now.
Thanks.
Well, Mr. David.
Hello, Warden.
Oh, Jack Warden. How can I help you?
Well, you see, Warden.
Yes?
I keep getting raped.
Oh, isn't that a shame? I'll look into it right away.
Thanks, Warden. It's about time somebody...
Now drop your pad.
Huh?
I said drop your pad. This is Oz, fella. Favors don't come cheap.
Yo, let's rape Mo. Radio Big Shot. That's how we pass the time away in the gay old jail of Oz.
Hi, I'm Yule Gibbons. You may have wondered what kind of sausage is floating in the pink juice jar at the mini mart. Well, they're a byproduct of transgender reassignment surgery. Quite tasty. And good for you. Ever seen nuts hanging on the back of a truck? What you don't know is, truck nuts are also a byproduct of transgender reassignment surgery.
You're sure you want to do this?
Yes, Mommy. Yeah, I want to look more like a woman.
Okay, hold still. What do you want to do with these?
Oh, just hanging on the back of a truck or something.
Adorn your pickup truck with dangling manhood by dangling someone else's. Available in brass, chrome, and blue anodized. Make your truck use less gas by showing your ass with T-Nuts.
I went to the sausage party. I was invited by the priest. He said, come with me, I have some friends to see back in the rectory. When we got to the sausage party, there were some other priests in the buff. Then he dropped his pants and said, be a good lad, your face I wanna stuff. And I realize now I didn't do very well. You see, 'cause the priest couldn't get off, so he had to please himself. Then the priest at the sausage party said, have faith, son, try it again. As he took my hand and he said, let me help you try to understand. He said, there's something I must remind you before you give it another chance. The holy men who wrote the Bible weren't wearing any pants. Now I'm alright now, I can do that very well. It's good that I can please anyone and I won't go to hell.
$2.24.
Well, let me just ask you this. Was this just recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
SoFloRadio.com. George Rodriguez Show.
More to follow off air.
7 years of internet broadcasting. And people say, "What do you do now?" And I say, I used to say, it used to be very serious, have my business cards, and I used to say, I own and operate an internet broadcasting company. And now I say, I'm in the internet broadcasting racket. Everything's a racket.
Internet broadcasting and podcasting were the precursor of Uber, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because at one time, to do a show like this, you had to first seek training, then go to school, learn how to enunciate, and then take a test for your engineering license.
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe you had a kind of a job making $150 a week.
Really? It didn't
but
go to
now,
school, right.
now when a child is born, they're getting a diaper and a podcast.
Right?
So, yeah.
They get the diaper and they get their pod. For example, my daughter, the younger one, still uses the same iPod that we got her when iPods were new. It's engraved with her name on the back of it. And everything, and she still uses it. She never needed to get a phone because Skype, Wi-Fi, everywhere like that. Get a phone eventually. But if you have an iPod, you can podcast. You can just record it and upload it. You can do everything from your iPod, your iPad, and everything. But this is the way of the world. And I often tell my elders, like Boca and such.
Shut up.
We were young once.
Wait a minute. This sounds like a Pat Benatar song.
We were young. Listening to old people bemoan the newfangled whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I remember being a young person and hearing my old father pitch about automatic transmission. Okay.
You can't take the guesswork out of it.
Take the guesswork out of it.
That's a fucking car to shift.
Should I shift the third or second? I don't know.
That's a car to shift when I know what gear I want to be in. I know what gear I want to be in.
When I'm doing 70, I want second.
Presumptuous fucking car. I go, Woody, and I'm like, Woody, but there's still, you can still shift down,
but it doesn't shift up until it's ready to. It doesn't shift up until it's ready to. It's not getting as good gas mileage as when I do it.
Like, okay, but there was always something like that. I remember William F. Buckley bitching about the Beatles. I remember, you can't, and the four-piece bands. The four-piece band is not a real band. It's not a real band. Just everything. So there's nothing you can do about time marching on and the world becoming whatever it is going to become. All you can do is respond or adjust. Which brings me to this couple of new hobbies that I'm working on right now, because I don't know if you've been considering the what ifs. What if Trump gets elected? What if the ice sheets fall into the ocean and we become flooded? What if the aliens invade or something like that? And I'm practicing a couple of skills. One of them is called stealth camping. Have I mentioned
It's
this
called
before?
what?
Stealth camping.
Stealth camping.
It's a thing.
Hmm.
It's in Pinterest. You can join Pinterest of stealth camping.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Homeless people call it just being alive, like living. Stealth camping is what they do every night. They just call it being homeless. Every night they try to find a place to sleep without getting driven off or arrested for sleeping there. All right. I'm not homeless yet, but so when I do it, it's called stealth camping. All right. It's kind of an associated skill. Okay. Urban foraging.
Oh,
and when you go to the woods, because you've lived in Spokane and everything, when you go to the woods and you go camping, one of the things that you always do while you're camping, of course, is foraging and try to see if you can sustain yourself on the indigenous plants and animals and do some little fishing over here. Of course, it's the homeless people call it dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Urban foraging.
Urban foraging,
or
much
being,
better.
Or being a freegan. But yeah, I'm not homeless. I'm stealth camping. I'm not dumpster diving. I'm foraging. This is urban foraging over here because I think
that bad.
I'm writing freegan down.
You're freegan. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, it's a wonderful diet. Let me tell you something about the freegan diet. It goes like this. It's a much cleverer. I was calling it the opportunity diet or the incidental food diet. Freeganism is much better. Just don't buy food. You'll gain weight. All right? If you don't watch what you're doing, that can't be the only restriction. Because I thought, I'm gonna save money by becoming a freegan. I'm just not gonna buy any food anymore. So I'm gonna save money and lose weight.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I was gaining weight because there has to be an additional restriction than just buying food. Because the food's everywhere. This is America. Food's everywhere. Yeah. Your friends invite you over. There's food everywhere. Hey, did you eat? Yeah, like you came over to the show today. Here's food on the table. Did you expect
for food?
So you just kind of graze as you go through life, and I was see, here's what I was doing is I was overdoing my opportunities. Like I would find myself in the presence of food, and I would gorge. I don't know when I'm going to be in the presence of food again. So let me just load up and put a bunch of food in my cheeks and everything. And then 3 hours later, I'm somewhere else and here's food. Again, there's food. I'm not hungry yet. Oh, well, I don't know when I'm going to be in the presence of food again, so I better make the best of this opportunity. So here I am eating this food. And then 3 hours after that, I'm like, oh, my God, now how did I find my way in front of the roast beef carving station? Where the hell am I? Retracing my steps. What choices did I make today that led to me being in front of this big roast beef? And I'm still not hungry. I really wish I should have. If I had known, I would have planned this day out a little bit better. Oh, man, all those donuts I ate earlier. Now I don't have room for this roast beef. What the fuck? So there's a thing. So I don't know. You might be getting all cocky and complacent. You might be dependent upon the system as it is. You ever watch the show Doomsday Preppers? Speaking of Netflix, fascinating show. There's two things to enjoy about this show. There's a comedy element and a useful information element. The Doomsday Preppers themselves. By the way, I'm using this toothpick as a gesturing swagger stick.
It's a pointer.
It's a pointer. And I can also skewer cheese with it.
Get some more cheese.
The
you
reason
actually use a real pointer.
The people that they feature on the show that are doing the doomsday prepping, most of the time, the reasons for doomsday prepping are very wackadoo. Like they think aliens are going to invade. They think there's going to be an electromagnetic pulse. And there's going to be a nuclear war, and the electromagnetic pulse is going to fry the circuitry. Some of their reasons for
there goes all my porn.
Yeah, solid state. Buddy, solid
they
state.
Changed Burgess Meredith from books to porn. It's not fair.
You're talking about the Twilight Zone episode. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, but some of the ideas, some of the things that these people are doing in order to prepare for disasters, there's some pretty good ideas. And here we don't have to be worried about space aliens because we have hurricanes that sweep through. And remember, because we were all a part of the whole Hurricane Andrew support system.
Andrew, Wilma.
Sure.
Yeah.
But when we were at IOD, when Andrew came through, we were there in the nerve center. Not only did we have our own personal stories of dealing with things, but we got to hear from people that were stranded and cut off, like out in the Redlands. people that were having water helicoptered in some
yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Now, you should not have to have helicopters bring you water. If there's a hurricane coming at you, you should be able to. You should have enough water. You should have enough canned goods. You should have enough things. So emergency preparedness is not a far-fetched wackadoo kind of thing.
No.
So this whole stealth camping and freeganism, the homeless people, you can learn a lot from them because the life that these people are preparing, the doomsday preppers are prepping to be able to live a life that the homeless people live currently. They're actually living it on a day-to-day basis, like Amish, but without homes. The Amish people live off the grid. So start doing that. This is my suggestion to the world, and I'm going to start doing it little by little. I've been, I sold the house in North Carolina. I got my camping gear.
Oh, you did?
Sent down. And by the way, they took the choice things out. My collapsible survival shovel, they took that, the one with the saw blade on one side. My machete and the leather sheath that fit very nicely together. They took that, bastards.
It's a sheath.
It's a sheath.
So you did sell the house?
I did sell the house.
Oh,
I paid
okay.
everybody. I don't owe anybody any money. Everybody can fuck off. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that was there for me. Everybody's been paid. But at this point, it's a wonderfully liberating thing to not owe anyone anything. Because
wow, that's a nice place to be.
It's a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to be because I don't have to take any shit. Now, it's a good thing that I'm out of fucks because I don't have anyone that requires me to give them any fucks.
I see.
My children.
Yeah.
My daughters and my granddaughter now, 8 months now, 8-month-old granddaughter, which is great.
Wow.
In just 2 more months and I'll have her on skates.
And I still say, if you had the hair from 93 or 92, you'd look exactly the same. Wouldn't he? Hasn't really aged at all.
I feel younger and better than I did like 10 years ago.
And neither is Suds. If he's let his hair go.
Suds looks exactly like the day I met him.
Maybe a little grayer.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot.
No, the hair. I said the hair. Yeah.
Oh, the hair.
Oh, I meant your face. You're a little more ashen.
Oh, well, yes.
You look like an ashen figure.
I camp. I camp.
Do you?
I camp.
Is that an
once.
app? Is that? Do they have it for?
The only time the only time I ever camped was outside the courthouse, just the night before my divorce hearing. I didn't want to miss that. But after that, not so much.
Remember that time you were telling me about? Pam was telling you to get out. She was screaming at you.
Yeah.
And she said, I hope you die a long and painful death. And then you said to her, oh, you want me to stay?
I love Pam. How's she doing?
She, I think she is trying to get rid of me.
Oh, really?
I think I'm being replaced with a pool noodle. No, but I came home the other night. I was down at the King's Head, and I came home and I said, my friend is going back to England. He hadn't been back in about 20 years. Her first response was, oh, why don't you go with him?
I know what she's thinking. She just doesn't want to have to deal with your dead body.
She's the perfect straight man for you.
Yeah. She's afraid that she's going to come home and you're going to be dead and she's going to have to move you around.
Yeah. Is there a service? Let me see. We going through her phone. Is there a service for this?
I've discovered the world of greater concierging, and there are people that'll do
Wait,
anything
the
for
world
you.
of what?
I call it greater concierging.
Oh, would you get this for me?
You didn't know that this? Apparently, it's more complex than I even thought.
Yeah.
Here. Well, you
bag out again.
You understand. You know of what a concierge. Basically they hook you up.
Yeah.
There's people come in from out of town. Hey, where can I in the concierge? Anyway, here in a tourist area the size of South Florida, one might imagine that concierging is big business.
You would think.
Big business.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And there are all kinds of things. The yachtsmen. Let's just say if all we did was talk about the yachtsmen pull into town and they don't want to do their own schlepping.
Yeah.
They want to enjoy what rich people enjoy doing, caviar, cocaine, and prostitutes. So they want the yacht resupplied and this and that, and so somebody has to go do the schlepping for them, and just basically doing favors in general for people.
Yeah.
Like there are apps for that now, like Handy. There's the Handy. There's TaskRabbit. These are all things.
I'm not aware of that. Oh.
Favors, basically doing favors or running errands, like the kind of thing that you would call a friend for, but some people don't have friends, or
I never thought about that.
So there's
TaskRabbit?
TaskRabbit.
Huh.
And
Well,
Handy.
that's like an Uber thing.
Handy is another one. You need a handyman, you need a maid or something like that. Right. It's very much like Uber, but
Okay.
TaskRabbit doesn't
Okay.
help you move, do your shopping, whatever. There's all kinds of services here in South Florida. So I'm sure that, and there's body removal. So
Yeah.
somebody will
I
come and
remember
take your
when-
carcass away.
when the Yachtsman opened for the Chad Mitchell Trio. But the thing with Uber is, what'll get me frightened is when
Yeah.
I see an app for Uber Airlines.
Oh, boy.
Any minute now.
Oh, well, that's right. You could cut me a check for that one.
Why not?
Anybody starts it up, remember me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
no,
anybody could be a
nothing for you.
pilot.
Ambulance service.
Uber ambulance. Is there really one?
I don't
Why
know.
not?
So you could use
Well, I
your
like
very
the
own
airline
car.
idea.
You know,
That's a
people,
great idea.
people use Uber for deliveries already.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that? You
Okay.
need something picked up, just call
Call
Uber.
Uber.
So instead of
Yeah.
picking up a person, they pick up a package.
How about Uber
I
Hospital?
wonder how many Uber drivers are drug dealers and they just don't know it.
All of them. Well, all that I know.
Who was that? The stand-up comment. My FedEx guy is a drug dealer. Who is it that said that?
Wow.
I love my FedEx guy. He's a drug dealer and he doesn't even know it. Somebody said that. Who said that? It was a stand-up comic.
Well, listen, it's
Yeah.
been true. Trust me.
In the world, it has just so happened.
Yeah.
That it happens to be true. Have before we get too far into the show, because I normally do movie reviews at some point during the show.
Oh, good, because I wanted to ask you about one. So,
all right. Well, Where to Invade Next by Michael Moore is something that you ought to see for informational purposes. It's not what you think it is. At least it wasn't what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be an indictment of the military-industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
That's about how stupid we are. I want to see it.
Did you
too.
see it?
No, but I know
it just compares our systems and institutions, like our education system, etc., to how other countries do it. Our school lunch program, other countries' school lunch program. Our vacation, how we approach the concept of paid leave for people, how other countries do it, etc. And admittedly, he goes to the other countries because that's the whole theme. Where to invade next? We're going to invade countries and take something from them that we don't have. So that's what he does. He goes around the world and he finds the best school lunch program. So let's invade Japan and take their school lunch program because look at how they do it, etc. Let's invade France and take their school lunch program. So let's invade Italy and take their vacation system because they get the most, and how do they do it? And it goes into that. And of course, even those of us who like Michael Moore know that he can be a little bit theatrical, and his bias. Like he's painting a particular picture. So there's embellishment going on. He's taking a lot of artistic license when he's making the points that he makes. But you don't, all artistic embellishment aside, we suck in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
We have the best military and the best TV. I mean, the best programming. Listen, Netflix is an American company, right? All those
but those shows are filmed in Vancouver.
Vancouver and this and that, but nevertheless, our TV and movie industries, as far as quality product, we still have the best. We have the best military and the best show business.
Yeah, we do.
Other than that, what are we best at?
Not much.
I want to be a proud American over here, Brit. So play along. Other than that, I mean, our entertainment system is really good. I'm saying, look, other people, the Aussies, they do good stuff. The Brits, they do good. They do some good entertainment, but they don't do as much quality entertainment as we do. And I know when you law of averages, you guys throw so much crap, some of it's bound to stick.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, but
what
do we do?
On a volume basis, I mean, you've been doing it for what? Almost 130 years now.
Yes.
So we've had plenty of time to build. That's an enormous industry. They usually came, except for the British, they came along a little bit after we did. I mean, not as far as inventing film, but as far as the industry building is concerned, we kind of like built that first in New York. Hollywood came in, 1919s? Then Hollywood got big.
Yeah.
But we kind of like got a jump on that. As far as the foreign countries are concerned, their film industries grew exponentially. Well, the war kind of held them off.
Yeah.
Did you know that? And Eric, you mentioned Eric. I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
No.
After World War II, you always make fun of me. You go, how old are you? After World War II, in England they had no radio, so what they did was they built a studio in a church. They had one tower that operated, and they put an orchestra in there. Hence the BBC orchestra. And what they did was the Beatles grew up on this. They heard just musicians playing stuff. It wasn't just classical. They were writing original compositions. George Martin, among them, was involved with this. And they just performed for 18 hours a day live on the radio up until 1953. And that's when England started actual radio programming. That's when the BBC took off. But up until then, and here's the funny part, Eric gave me the library from the BBC orchestra post. I'll give you a very, very good example. The theme song to Captain Kangaroo.
Okay.
That was just stock music that they just threw out there because it went on the air. It was not planned. It was not, here's something that'll sound good. And they just threw it on the air. So for America, if you bought the rights to the library, you could have your pick of what was ever in. So CBS picked that. And the most famous one of all was, in France, they did a similar thing.
No.
And whenever you went, yes.
Edward White.
Edward White, and it's Puffin' Billy is the name of that song.
Puffin' Billy.
It is. They're puffing on it.
Yeah, that is the name of that song.
Now,
coincidence?
You got to figure, this is war-torn London.
Yeah.
And that's why it sounds that way, because it was uplifting and light, and that's where that came
I really
from.
hated this show, but I love this theme.
Yeah, I did. Same here. Yeah.
But at any rate,
Skipper Chuck ruined me.
They had a similar thing with France with their radio. They had orchestras playing all day. There was no programming. One of the stock tunes they took was the theme to Superman.
Oh.
Dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 da. That was made in France.
Oh.
That All-American Open with the flag.
Wow.
So there's some history people don't know because it was erased because I think Sony or somebody bought everything, and then they just got rid of all the records of it.
Well, you stop and think, if there was never any war, ever, just think of all the storylines that wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
All the music that wouldn't exist if there was never any wars. But we don't have to worry about that, do we? No. Hey, by the way, here's a little Superman trivia
Leon
for you.
Klatskin.
From the old television show, Superman, the old half-hour shows, when the Daily Planet building, when Superman flies over it, the Daily Planet building is actually an old Bank of America building in Providence.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, in Rhode Island, it's known as the Superman building.
No kidding. Oh, that's great.
And it is now the largest unoccupied building in downtown Providence. I guess they're not doing too well up there, but
they should.
Does it
they
still
should
have
make
the planet on there?
They should put the Daily
building
Planet.
is empty now.
But does it still have the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's used to be Bank of America.
Somebody buy that. At least just buy the top.
Oh, come on. It's got to be a protected monument.
I don't know.
No.
I've seen some pictures of it, and the windows are all broken out.
Oh,
jeez.
It's supposed to be Providence. Now it's a lie.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Well, we had a Daily Planet nightclub here. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Really?
Why was it? I
thought you knew where all the nightclubs were.
No, I wasn't. See, here's what happened. When I came to town and started working at the radio, and Marvin was Neil's producer, and Marvin had that South Beach apartment. And after we became friends, we all became friends. And Marvin became y'all's producer, and I became Neil's producer. Marvin would invite me, and I was married at the time, and I wasn't allowed to have any fun. But periodically, Marvin would invite me to go and, like on a Friday night, come on down, park at my place, we'll go down the town. And he knew where to go, so we wouldn't have to stand behind the velvet rope. And I never would have gotten in under my own power anyway.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the schmooze, I didn't have the connections, I didn't know how to dress. I dressed like Kurt Cobain. So Marvin took me to places, but that was very short lived. And then soon after that, I fell in with the ravers, and that wasn't so much of a nightclub thing as much as a cow pasture thing. All right, or a barn or a warehouse or something like that. When I started going to the raves, or right over here at what used to be Club Exit. Which is now the
whorehouse.
The old Hemingway place. It's been City Hall. It's been a jail. It's been a whorehouse. Yeah. Runa's Peruvian restaurant is in half of it now. It used to be Hemingway's restaurant, but then it was Club. Remember, it was it the Man Ray?
Man Ray
something. Yeah. But then it was Club Exit, which yes, it was called that. It was called Club Exit because it was a gay bar.
Gay.
For the most part, like come out of the closet, like Exit. But then here's the thing. But also they would put raves on there. So the other people is like, no, Exit means ecstasy. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. I mean,
so I went to a few. They're just called parties. They're just called parties.
Yeah.
They're just called the raves. They weren't called raves by the people that did raves. They were just called parties. So we had a few parties there. DJ Special K, DJ Ecstasy, my friends.
Oh yeah, sure.
They hosted those events there. But now they've all been absorbed by these bigger outfits, and I think it's back to cow pastures. But I'm 51 for Christ's sakes. I'm not going to be Uncle Creepy at the raves.
I know. Isn't that a bitch?
Yeah.
There's all these things I know I would like to go to and everything. Everybody's going to think I'm a narc.
No. We can have our own. By the way, right up the road over here on Federal, did you see 80s disco bar and restaurant?
Really?
Really, right?
You have to be 80?
It's in Dania. It helps if you are. Just north of Sterling, right? Like just north of Tarks, right over here on Federal.
Yeah.
You know where Tarks is? Just north of Tarks, right across the street from Shenanigans. It used to be like a pizza parlor or something. Anyway, they didn't so much install the light floor, as they just placed a light floor on top.
Oh, I see.
You see, it's got little ramps that go up to it. And then there's a DJ in the corner there, and they got the drinks, and I've been there a couple times, and it's okay. Because I was talking to some friends, I'm not done dancing. I'm not done going out and dancing, but I don't want to wait till 2 a.m. to start.
Here's some very good news for you.
Good.
And you can do this. I always ask to get carded. So, because they'll let me buy and not say anything. I'm like, wait a minute. You didn't card me. And then they acquiesce, go, all right. Can I see some ID, please? It just makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Try it sometime.
I don't. Well, sometimes I say, do you want some ID? And then I take my hat off. Show them my bald spot. It's like, there it is. Do you believe I'm over 21?
I get ID'd a lot of times just to see if I'm human.
Anyway, the DJ plays a decent mix of disco and 80s dance, and there are people there of all ages. And on a Friday night, like tonight, for example, I went there on a Friday night. People dress up in cool clothing and disco clothing, and it's 30 to 50 people.
White sport coat, pink shirt.
Whatever. It's fun. It's nice people having fun. They're actually dancing. I don't give a fuck
Good
how
deal.
old they are. I'm not young either.
Is anybody wearing Zuba pants? That's what I'd like to know.
No,
that didn't work. I remember when you had Zuba pants. I remember it quite clearly.
Yeah,
they were free.
Did they?
We
that's
all
right.
got Zuba pants.
So it wasn't by force.
They were a radio freebie.
That's the only thing I miss about not being in radio anymore is my wardrobe.
Right?
Going to hell.
Yeah.
I know all my free shirts are so old now.
Mine too. I still wear them. I don't care.
Yeah, I actually bought this shirt. I know.
Wow.
Like a sucker. Like a chump.
I remember when both you and Rick had Zuba pants.
Yes.
On. And had you two ran towards Saudi Arabia, we would have never been attacked in 2001.
I had
frightened.
I had Zuba pants. We all got Zuba pants.
Yeah.
Dolphins, stripe, tiger stripe with Dolphins colors. Zuba pants.
Can't believe football.
I wish I still had them. They're very comfy.
Football starting already?
I don't even.
I just saw the promos today for the Dolphin game tonight. Oh, my team won the preseason game. I'm so excited, said no one ever.
It's like preseason's like pre-cum. It's like that's not really it yet.
I'm not a football fan. I
don't watch people do things anymore. I care even less, because we talked about this, going all the way back to, 30 years now. I don't watch men play games. I don't care about what professional athletes do for a living or on the weekend for fun. And these days, I care even less. Oh, how little do I care.
I agree. I've never been really into sports all that, but I will admit, over the last couple of years, soccer. I've gotten to kind of like soccer, or at least watching it.
I'm not into watching. I mean, I do the skating thing. I'm there 3 to 4 times a week, and I've gotten very good. That's the only thing. Like, I might be too old to go to the raves. And people say you're too old to skate, and I'm going, who doesn't agree with you is all the really, really good skaters, all the kids and the teenagers that are really good skaters that have to take their hat off when they talk to me.
Have you ever tried ice skating?
Yeah. It's on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold and wet.
But there's an ice skating rink in Sunrise.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
sucks.
Okay.
Is it still there?
All I did was ask. You don't have to pull a gun on me.
God damn it! I could.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Wow.
Hillary's a gun grabber. See, here's the problem. The problem with ice skating, which I've done my fair share, but the ice rink. Have you been inside?
I think in 1970.
Okay, well, you've been inside.
Yeah.
You've been inside a roller rink, and you've been inside a
Once
ice
I
rink.
went there,
all right,
yeah.
so the ice rink is a very brightly lit, cold place with a wet floor. And it
Pretty
smells
much,
like
yeah.
mildew, and there's a little bit
supposed
of
to-
there's a little bit of sound coming out a little tin speaker in the corner. And when
so it's just a shitty
and
rink.
when you fall on ice,
Yeah.
this is ice versus a gymnasium floor. Have you ever fallen on wet ice?
Yeah.
Right. You can't catch yourself because your hands hit the ice and then they slide out from under you,
Yeah.
and you fall on your face.
That's what
You-
Dr.
you hit
Atkins
your
said.
chin. Right. You know what I mean? If you've taken a fall on the ground, you catch yourself with your arms.
Right.
You don't eat the floor with your face. You catch yourself. You trip falling forward.
Well, you still get hurt either way.
You get hurt. You don't eat the floor with your face. What would you rather hit the floor with, your hands or your face? Okay. Yeah. So when you fall on the
rather
ice,
hit the floor with Katy Perry.
your hands go sliding out, and then you hit your nose, you hit your chin, you break your teeth. It hurts, and the floor is wet, so now your clothes are all wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, that water, it smells. It's got
It
smells. It smells like funky smell.
I'm sorry I brought it
And
up.
it's cold, and now you're wet and everything.
No,
Whereas
I've skated, but I've never
the roller
done it
rink,
in a skating rink.
The roller rink is darker.
Yeah.
There's disco lights. There are 3 disco balls. There's a snack bar in the corner. There's air conditioner, but it's not like freezing, like you got to wear a parka in there.
Yeah.
And when you fall on the ice, on the roller rink gymnasium pine wood floor, you go, ow, that hurt. And then you dust yourself off and you pick yourself up and you continue skating. You're not
Start
all wet.
all
And you didn't.
over again.
Yeah.
And so the ice rink sucks. However, should it freeze over in Florida, I'll get some ice skates and put some ice skates on.
Yeah.
But that was traditionally, and Suds is in the Northwest. Ice skating is something we did outdoors, fucking
Yes.
around. Roller skating was an indoor. You go to the
Yes.
rink and then you hang out, and the video games are there, and you play foosball and air hockey, et cetera and so on.
I don't think I ever ice skated
Stuff like
in an indoor place.
No,
ever.
on creeks, on the streets,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
lakes.
Yeah.
That's
on ponds.
fun.
I would have to buy my own ice skates at this point because rink skates and rink bowling balls, and you got to have your own balls and your own skates. Like you go bowling, you
Ice
gotta have your
bowling.
balls. Ice bowling. When you go to the bowling alley, you don't want to use those public balls. Not if you're a serious
No,
bowler. You want to have your own, your own ball and your own ball bag, right?
Well, I'm halfway there. But
You don't mean the public balls.
Wait, I meant to say.
Halfway to paradise, as Tony Orlando.
Well, there we go. 7 years, and we got through it again. People coming up in progress is the Nicole Sandler show. I sure wish you would go back to 10. I sure wish you would go back to 10 o'clock, Nicole.
Oop, too loud. Oop,
That's my fault. No, I can do.
Yeah,
I
but
can do
did
that.
you wait a second?
I can do things like that. Want to thank Suds for coming in. Want to
Oh,
thank,
you're quite welcome.
Boca Brit as
Thank you.
usual, and always want to thank Joe Castello for the video that he sent. The band The Drip Effect. You'll be hearing them on SoFloRadio.com. Want to thank Alan for calling in. Flash, don't forget Everglades cleanup Sunday 4 o'clock. Meet over at the Miccosukee. The Miccosukee Visitors Center on 8th and Chrome. Long time since I've been on 8th and Chrome.
Yeah, me
Used
too.
to go there all the time, but not anymore. And other stuff coming up. Going to try to get a show going about once a month. That's about what I have the energy for. That's about what everybody else is doing. just once a month when they feel like it, not necessarily at a regularly scheduled
Would
time.
it be nice, if you just wake up in the middle of the night and go, damn it,
You can do that.
I feel like doing a show right now.
It's my fucking studio, so and the options are all mine. I really enjoy working if and when I feel like it. It's a wonderful thing. I spent from the age of 14 through 44 doing the real regular jobs.
Yeah.
Wake up every morning, turn that crank. Wake up every morning, turn that crank. Turn that crank. Turn that crank. Look what it got me.
Yeah.
Look what it got me. Got me shit on. So from now on, it's stealth camping and urban foraging for this kid. Got my eye on a container. You ever see those shipping containers? Saw a rusty shipping container on a lot. I don't know if it's abandoned, but I got my eye on that. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Hey, baby, I drank a lot of booze. I got plastered and scrambled my brain. I'm out of control, baby. It's my success I abuse. The party every night and get laid. And I like to drive my Viper when I'm plastered with scrambled brains. I flipped it again. I want to die, everybody.